Hey, what's up, everybody? It is your friendly neighborhood BJJ podcaster, Rafa Sparza, joining you on a wonderful Saturday. We have a UFC coming up, and now I know you guys are watching on all of our main channels, but I'm actually going to go to our Instagram Live for just a little bit while we go ahead and get some of our friends who will be joining us later throughout the evening. We have a jam-packed evening full of fight analysis really, that's it. We're just watching the shows with you. So if you guys are watching live, we would love for you guys to say hello. We're going to be keeping you up to date on everything going on in the UFC. Coming up next is going to be Alonzo Menafield versus Devin Clark, and we will keep you as up to date as possible on that. If you guys are watching the UFC this evening, you will have friends in us. We will be here the entire night. What's up, Barbara Troy? What's up, Alma? Good to see you guys joining us here. Of course, we are on Instagram for a short time, and then we will be making sure that our entire broadcast is exclusively on all the rest of our social media channels. I'm actually going to be joined on our main broadcast right now by our good friend, one Jake Michael Watson. I didn't know it was Michael, so that's actually kind of slowly throwing me. Jake is actually competing tonight, but he decided he was going to go ahead and show up with us. So for you guys over here, I'm very sorry. I don't have that on Instagram, but join us on the main thing. I'll come back here a little bit later when I'm solo. Love you guys. Come join us on the main thing. But for those of you watching on the rest of our channels, please welcome back to the show, one Jake Watson. Jake, how you doing, sir?
Pretty good. How are you? It's good to. I told you I'd be here. Watching Avatar: The Last Airbender in my hotel room.
There are fights going on, young man. Bender can happen at any given time.
Yeah, I know, but this is how I relax. Are you messing with my rituals?
Well, I'm just telling you, I don't know which is more important tonight, you being a responsible host or you being a responsible competitor. It's a tough decision to make.
Well, I'm only going to be here for like 10 minutes, so I just want to say hi. And
that's fair.
I got to go to CVS, and I got to get some snacks before I go out there and do my thing.
What constitutes snacks for you before you go to compete, sir?
I work with Natalia Chantre, who is a dietitian. She just wants me to get some good energy stuff. I have tart cherry juice, just some really healthy stuff that's going to keep my energy levels up and for the duration of my competition, you know. Mm-hmm. Not like donuts. That's probably after the show, you know. I'm probably going to get like a 48 pack of mini donuts and just chow down. Who knows? So
if I were to start eating this pizza in front of you right now, would this be cool?
What is that scene from Dodgeball? I'm not that guy.
Well,
I'm not that guy from Dodgeball that's shoving the pizza in his pants. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do. I'm just curious because I very nicely ordered pizza and just put it toward me here. And I'm like, well, I'm not hungry yet. But when you mentioned how you're eating small foods that are considered, sustenance for like birds, I think good for you.
Oh, yeah. No, I love pizza. And that was a huge struggle for me starting the diet was Natalia was like, is there something you crave every day? And I'm not even lying. I crave pizza every single day. It's my favorite food. So, and not like good pizza. I'm not talking like Grimaldi's or some luxury gourmet pizza. I'm talking garbage, bottom of the barrel Papa John's is like, I don't know why I love Papa John's.
I feel really bad for you. We used to have people who would bring Papa John's over to our parties, and I would look at them and be like, you may go ahead and leave now at this point. Thank you.
Pizza's pizza.
Not Papa John's pizza. It's scientifically not entirely considered pizza.
Well, yeah, I guess you're right. But, I went to New York, and I didn't enjoy the pizza I had, so I was really upset. I was like, wow, this is a wrong stereotype of New York.
Did you get a whole bunch of New Yorkers yelling at you because you didn't like it?
No, I didn't tell any of the New Yorkers I didn't like it. That's like
you're just telling them now.
Man, I did an interview with Devontae Johnson on the Open Guard cast, and I made a joke. Have you ever seen that meme of there's a meme on Twitter, people for a little bit were taking a Yankee hat and cutting the brim off and saying, oh, look at that, it's a Yankee with no brim. And it was a huge thing on Twitter. And so I had a Yankee hat, and I did it, and I participated in the meme. And I asked him, I was like, have you ever seen that meme? And he said, no. If I ever saw a guy with a Yankee hat with the brim cut off, I'd punch him. I'm like, I haven't seen the meme either.
My God. We learn so much about our friends whenever we push them in interviews. So how much of that water has come? Is that all from today?
Yeah. I drank a bottle, like a liter bottle before I went to bed last night. I weighed in like 2.5 pounds under, which is okay. I dropped a total of like 13 pounds, I think, for the event.
Wow, that's awesome, dude.
Yeah, no, it was all just good diet. I didn't have to struggle at all.
So let me see here. You've got Margaret Colton Watson saying, "Hey, Jake." You've got Megan Johnson who says, "Great, now I want pizza." LOL. Well, listen, I can't be responsible for everything here. So my apologies. It's very delicious. If you have the chance to order it from Los Angeles here from Big Mamas and Papas, if not, I'm very sorry. Anyway, Jake, tell me about the scene. What does it look like over there? Because, and just to let you guys know, it is about to start over here for Alonzo versus Devin, but I want to stick with Jake and ask him, like,
this is Third Coast?
Really cool, man, for Third Coast, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna head down there probably after I'm done here. Then I'm just gonna go watch the show. The scene's great. I mean, I'm across the street from NASA, literally the Lyndon B. Johnson Center, so that's kind of cool. By the way, shout outs to Margaret Colton Watson is my nana. And yeah, she's always involved in my interviews and stuff like that. But
it's very sweet. Hey, man, that's what we call in the biz a recurring viewer.
Yeah, and I love it. She's so very, very supportive. Keepa just asked me if I need a ride. He's fighting on the show too, but he's on the other side, so I get to. I'll probably travel out there with. Actually, no, I have to Uber because I got to go to CVS. I have to pick up stuff. That's like.
Can I ask what the stuff is?
Drugs. Narcotics. There's a guy.
Yeah, 100%. You're the person that everybody's profiling right now, being like, "Keep this kid off the streets."
Man, did you hear about Gordon Ryan?
No.
Gordon Ryan said something racist on his page, and everybody's calling #ban Gordon Ryan.
Now they want to ban him?
I know, like, right? No, but I looked at my flow post, my interview from Third Coast, where I was just saying, hey, this is how I think the bracket's going to go. And all of a sudden people are like, ban him. And they're just saying, ban him. And I'm like, ban me. And then I see a couple, like 20 comments down. It says, #ban Gordon Ryan. I'm like, what did he do? I look, Malachi Edmond, Magic Man, messages me, hey, he said something racist. I'm like, dude, no way. I like Dylan Dennis more than Gordon Ryan. Is that the universe I live in?
I'm just glad that when they started posting ban him and they're pointing at you, you're sitting there being like, is it me? And they go, no, the other white guy.
Yeah, the
other tall white guy.
The muscular one that looks racist.
Oh man. Well, I wouldn't profile somebody like that. But I mean, you know,
I'm just in the spirit of it. I'm kidding.
If I were to say the both of you were in a lineup, I'd be like, well, there's one of you who I'd believe would say something dumb before the other. So maybe it's educational or brain profiling. Well, that's weird. I mean, I'll look more into that. I mute him. I try not to exist in that ether because, you know, I'll get the results for the fight stuff. But then half the time he'll just say something that I'm like, yeah, none of this is smart. Like, this is just a dumb person speaking as a person who thinks they are smart, which is the worst kind of dumb. All right. Well, let's see. You're going to go to CVS. You've got the tournament. Everybody seems to be pretty friendly down there, man. So that to me always gives a good vibe of the tournament that is out there. Yeah.
I'm about to leave right now. So I really wanted to join because I wanted to thank you for, you know, being so supportive all the time and for wishing me luck. And, you know, I think right now I'm super fortunate. I'm very blessed to be able to compete. A lot of people can't. So I just really want to do my best and put on a show for all the people who can't do jiu-jitsu right now. So if you guys are listening to this, follow Verbal Tapcast, follow Grappling Hour, because I'm going to be on there. And also, watch this. Ready? This is shameless product placement, taking advantage of a pandemic.
Wait, no. I didn't know you were going to bring. Well, first of all, that's very talented of you to have a mask ready to go.
Ubers need it. You have to wear it on the Uber.
No, it makes sense. No, it's not. I mean, you could buy any kind of mask, but why not buy one from your podcast? So that makes perfect sense.
We're going to have you on, by the way.
All right. Well, I look forward to that, my friend. I'm going to let you get out of here, Jake. You know, I'm rooting for you. You know, keep us updated, man. We want to hear all about it. Your eyes and ears down there, not just as a viewer, but as a competitor. And it's one of the rare times you'll ever see somebody be able to tell us what's going on. So we look forward to getting a good update and hearing you win tonight.
All right, cool. If I can join, I will. Thank you so much, Raph.
Absolutely, dude.
Have a good one.
What's up, bud? All right. Watson's out of here. Now I can talk shit about him. What's up, Vernon Kirk? Good to see you guys. If you guys want to fill me on the Gordon stuff, go for it. That's not my primary concern. My primary concern at the moment is watching Menefeld and Clark at this point, even as I was talking with Jake, I didn't want to interrupt here, but there looked like at maybe a couple times in here, there was some severe danger in this fight. So you guys may need to keep me up on this. I like the clinch work here, putting him up against the cage, starting to try and get forehead pressure up against the cage there. And now, I mean, you're going to see Devin Clark, I think, in a second, maybe get a return shot that's going to kind of equal things out. But this has been an interesting fight so far from what I've been able to see. And head strikes over here. Menefeld 15-1 against Clark. So, yikes. You do see that Clark is trying to come back in. There's a shot over here. It's stuffed by Menefeld, who's able to get back up with him and push him directly back on over to the cage. Christian, my main concern is where to watch today's fights. That's a great question, sir. This is a fight companion. You're welcome to join us and get updates as there. Every once in a while, there's somebody who puts a post for where you can find the illegal ones. But the stream here is dedicated directly to the analysis of some good folks and whatever. We welcome you here. If you find the illegal stream or, a stream, you're welcome to join us and mute Joe. Although don't mute Joe. You're really just muting DC. It's not my best. I can do a decent Anik impression. So I hope that answers your question. Thank you very much for watching. Whew. All right. I'm excited about this. Just to let you know, in the very first fight, we did have a finish. We will cheers to that in a second. We're just getting our business in order over here. They're actually showing the replay of Menefeld kind of putting Clark on defensive a couple times. Now they're showing that highlight of Clark mounting a little bit of a comeback, but just kind of swinging wildly. Joe is saying that it is very unusual for Clark to be on the receiving end of anything this violent and graphic. All right, I'm going to go ahead and switch on over as well back to Instagram. I know some of the folks were watching us there. My apologies. I wanted to talk to the kid. He's good people, and I'm super stoked for him to be competing this evening. Let's come on back into this. Woo! Clark is already starting to put on some heat onto one Devin Clark. All right, coming back over this way. Boom. Somebody clapped on the ground as if it was the 10-second clacker, and I think that's a mean thing to do to fighters when there's 4 minutes left to fight. That sound does not make it sound good if you're in there. Ooh. Yeah, Joe is now going off on talking about how labored the punches are from one Devin Clark, although I think you could make the effort. He's at least surging a comeback. This is just kind of that weird, sloppy kind of fight that I don't know that anything technical is going to win rather than attrition. All right, coming back on Instagram Live. Hi, guys. Sorry we got cut off a little bit earlier. I'm watching over here for our good friends over at Facebook and YouTube, all of those areas. And then over here, I've got you guys who are talking to us from the Instagram. What's up, Kirk? Good to see you guys all here. We are watching the UFC 250 prelims. Hard to believe we've hit 250 of these. Can you imagine the person who's paid for every single UFC? That'd be a lot. Aurora, BJJ, good to see you as well. Good to see my good friend Bobby. Bobby, you just messaged me. Now you know why I did not message you back. I am on this Wolfpack training team. Good to see you, bro. Hope you're staying well. All right, with 3:30 left to go, now you see Menefeld continuing to put the heat on, starting to get some knees in. They return back over now to the center of the octagon. This is Devin Clark's 10th UFC fight, according to Joe Rogan. And there is a little bit of an uppercut that is starting to stagger Clark. But fortunately, he is up against the cage, so he has a lot of opportunity to go ahead and recover 235 still left to work here. This is an interesting fight so far in. As I was mentioning earlier, we did have a finish. That one came at the hands of Herbert Burns, runs in the family, who was able to get a finish over Evan Dunham, who is a good friend of the show. We wish him the best. Unfortunately, he was finished by a rear naked choke. Again, cheers to come a little bit later on the show for that one. Is that a Tupac shirt? Yes, it is. It also, Bobby, says, picture me rolling. Rolling is a term for jiu-jitsu when you are doing kind of simulated practice. So, thus, picture me rolling. It's dope. It's one of my favorite shirts. It is made from the good guys over at The Union Designs. Excellent, excellent design. I saw it one day and I was like, yo, I need that. And they were very nice and sent it to me. Oh, there you go. Great song, too. Absolutely, sir. Devin Clark making a little bit of some signs of life here with some knees to the midsection of one Menefeld. Now Menefeld is able to go ahead and return, pummels him underneath, pushing him back under the cage. The two of them are doing the never-ending pummel dance. This is weird that it is at the UFC Apex Center. I've heard more and more that Vegas has continued to open over the past few weeks. Where can I watch this fight? This one is on ESPN Plus. So if you have the app, it is on there. I don't believe it's on ESPN, but you might want to check there too. The prelims should for sure be on ESPN. However, tonight's main fights will be pay-per-view, and that starts at 7 p.m. Best Coast time. And that is headlined by Amanda Nunes. Oh, God. Clark at this point is just slapping the back of the head of Menefeld. I think he was figuring that might be some strikes. I mean, I don't know how they do any of those. So I think Joe is trying to say that Devin Clark is used to fighting the distance, so it is a little unusual to see him this winded and this not out of his element, but just struggling, one might say. 10-second clacker over on this side. Okay, sweet. It is on ESPN. Thank you for letting me know. Woo! Clark was able to return with a nice head kick to go and end this very first round. We hope that you guys are enjoying our fight companion. We'll have some friends on in a little bit. Kevin Phillips should be joining us in a little bit. However, we were joined at the very beginning of the show by one young Jake Watson, who is competing tonight at Third Coast Grappling. We will do our best to also keep you updated on those matches that are coming on. They've got a very cool tournament that's going on this evening with many of our friends. We wish them the best, but that means you have to actually watch Flow Grappling, which, I mean, at your own discretion here, people. I don't tell you how to do that. If you guys are watching over on our Instagram, say what's up there. If you guys are watching on Facebook, YouTube, all those good places, you're free to go ahead and give us some comments. I will do my best to respond to as many of those comments as possible as we go through. I'm so excited that Bobby is watching this. Bobby is my best friend, and he often likes to watch the fights. He is somebody who will message me when he's really stoked that there's a big fight going on. So it's really nice to see the support from my best friend watching along with us. Appreciate that, bro. What's up, Patrick? Good to see you, sir. Have you been able to recover? I know the pandemic meant nobody could train, blah, blah, blah. That sucks. But were you able to get, a little bit of the rehab for everything that you needed? I'm hoping that you got to use the time off wisely. Right now, you are seeing a few things. What's up, Combs Jitsu? We had our good friend Jake on earlier. It's good to see you out that way, too. I know next week you should be in action at Jits King, correct? Woo! Great right hand by Menefeld over at that side. This is a bit of a fight in the sense that, yikes. Oh, God. Now they're talking about DC saying that Menefeld just looks really tired. He's like, he needs to change things. He's getting real tired here. I was like, I don't know. I've seen a few DC fights. He takes a round off every once in a while. Been training illegally. Well, that was never in question. I figured you would have. Clark went in for a shot, doesn't get, I wouldn't call it stuffed, just kind of fouled upon, if that is some kind of language we go and want to look. Bobby says, yes, he does look tired. I mean, I will tell you this, man. If you've ever done any kind of striking and they tell you to keep your hands up during the middle of the first minute of doing it, your hands find their way down constantly. It is something that your coaches will yell at to a number of times. Well, I'm glad, Patrick, you are back to training, sir. I know how hard it is to be sidelined, and I hope that that is going well for you. I hope you're staying safe, kid. When the pandemic's done, I look forward to training with you legally. Easel Pug twin looks tired too. Yeah. It's exhausting, dude. And especially for the bigger guys, if they're expanding a lot of energy as they're punching, their whole system starts to shut down. So, you know, wish it was a different story, but even the most in shape guys are there. Devin Clark now starting to get the better of Benefeld. These guys are buff too. That's exactly it. Now you're seeing a really good strategy utilized by Clark over here to grab that wrist. If he's able to continue grabbing that wrist and forcing him belly down, he has the ability to get a rear naked choke. So we'll get to see if he has any jiu-jitsu on his skill set over on this way. Nope. Very nicely done by Menefeld, getting back, kind of sitting like he's trying to get to guard, which would normally give a mount in this sense. What's up, G-Baby? And instead now is giving up his head here? This is very strange. You are not seeing Clark really go for a number of submissions here. I don't know that. I thought that was going to be the case, but Devin Clark could be finishing this up very quickly if he were taking care of that. What is up, according to Woods? Good to see you, Adam. Now, hey, credit to Menefeld here. Anybody who's done any kind of cage work wrestling knows that trying to mount your stand-up from sitting, especially at this late in the game, is devastating. And he is back up. 1:30 left to go left in this fight. Joe Rogan is asking passionately, how much energy does he have left? How bad does he want it? I think the other question is, can he breathe? My God. Menefeld is an undefeated fighter as well. So this is an interesting way that we will see in terms of results for this fight. Woo! Well, it's a nice differentium from the first fight. The first fight was settled very quickly. This one is going to go the distance. Oh, man. Bryce, thank you very much for your note, you dork. I appreciate you having such a concern over the dignity of people keeping their important viewing habits to themselves. What's up, HPI Mentel 11? I always like seeing numbers in people's names. Makes me think, how many times were there 10 other people that had that name? It's very confusing. What's up, Freddie? Good to see you, sir. I have one of these scheduled with you in the future. I hope you're getting good training in somewhere. I hope that you are staying healthy. I hope that you are good and the family's good. Teeing off to end the round. And Devin Clark was trying to make it 2 straight wins, is the words of one John Anik. All right, they cut to commercial. How do you guys have that scored? If you have it scored a particular way, feel free to hit me up in the comments. How am I scoring this far? Well, the output for Clark seemed to return nicely in that third for sure. Question is going to be how they interpret the second. First round should be pretty one-sided for one Alonzo. I might be willing to say. It says, oh, dang, you're like 20 seconds ahead of me. Okay, fun story of what I've learned here tonight. It appears that the ESPN app is giving you a closer to real-time version of the viewing habits, because I have it on ESPN on my television, and it is behind what I'm hearing and listening on my phone. So it is a very strange thing. We will get to the bottom of this science. I promise you that. So if I'm a little bit ahead of you, my deepest apologies. I will do my best to not ruin things, but to rather walk you through the fights as I see them. I'm going to go ahead and check also on our YouTube page momentarily. If you guys are sending us notes and love over on that side, we do our best to be in that moment. I want to go ahead and just say to our good friend Bryce, if I hear of anything, I will let you know. What's up, Fabio? Good to see you, sir. Hope you are enjoying yourself. I hope you are also going to be watching tonight's Third Coast Grappling. We have a lot of good friends competing on that. We have the results right now. 30, 27, 29, 28, 29, 28 with a unanimous decision is Devin Clark. That sounds about right. Interesting. So that is going to hand Menefeld his very first loss. Now, normally I have a rule here on the show, which is we cheers those who get finishes within regulation time. This did not have a finish, so we will not be cheersing these folks. When we get a couple other folks here, we will end up cheersing our first fight, which Herbert Burns got a really, really impressive submission via rear naked choke over Evan Dunham. So I will keep you guys updated as much as we go through. Now we get to the selfie mode over on that side. I'm going to see if I can actually get you a photo of said finish because it was pretty dope. And apparently the weirdest part about the submission finish by Burns was that it looked like he injured himself. I couldn't tell if it was in the process of getting a body triangle or within the fight, but he was limping outside of there. I see. There is a raised fist over there. Okay, dude, I'm going to get going. Take care, brother. Hey, buddy, I'm just glad you showed up. Much love to my best friend, Bobby. Good to see you, bro. Appreciate you watching for a little bit. I think they're also doing the interviews remotely. So this time, Joe Rogan isn't able to be in the Octagon with them for whatever reason. I don't know if that'll change when they get to the main card, but so far, Joe has had to keep his social distance, and they've done the interviews over the headset, at least for the very first fight. So I will keep you updated on that if it is still something that is going to be happening. Let me go ahead and see if we have any comments over on the other sections over here. We want to do our best to try and keep up with you guys as the event is going on live. All right. We have over here. They're going to go ahead and start plugging the main card in just a second over there. So I'm going to go ahead and start plugging our main card, which is this. So this week is UFC 250. The next few weeks are going to have a number of very big events. If you do watch us here at the Grappling Hour, we do one of these fight companions, usually per event. So if we have the ability to do so, we enjoy getting the folks together to watch some fights. And every so often, we take a week off. I will tell you this week, we have interviews lined up with some folks as part of our hashtag Save Jiu-Jitsu Gyms initiative, where we are featuring gym owners and trying to highlight some of the struggles that they are going through given the pandemic and other things now. Because, Jesus, as if we didn't have enough going on right now. Anyway, we will be continuing those. Usually go on at about 1 p.m. Best Coast time over here. So that is 1 p.m. in the West and usually 4 p.m. over on Eastern time zones. This week we have some folks. I don't want to speak out of turn. What's up, Elliot? My man. Man, do I miss getting in all of those terrible rounds over wrestling. Because I'll tell you this much right now. When the pandemic is done, I will be severely out of shape and will definitely need the intensity of the wrestling rounds that we have in your class. If you guys don't know, Elliot Agayo has some of the best training out there. If you have the opportunity, hit that man up for personal training. He's an excellent coach, not just for wrestling, but strength and conditioning, boxing, stand up. This man has it all. So get in touch with him. I'm going to check you out while I can, fan. I don't think that's the case. I don't think the defense is going that far away. What's up, J. David Campbell? Good to see you joining us here as well. If you guys have comments, questions, concerns, hints, allegations, hit us up in the comment section. I will try and integrate them as best as I can as we watch tonight's fights together. And tonight's fights are not bad, all things considered. I try to ask the guys how much they would pay for watching this fight. Like, if you had the ability to pay as much as you want for this fight, I said, what would you pay for said fight? And we had one responder in the Verbal Tap group that said about $350, which goes to show you the caliber of the people in our comment section sometimes. We're going to be moving on over shortly to Formiga versus Perez. Now, this is interesting. I had the opportunity to interview Alex Perez just a few weeks ago. Very nice human being. Highly, highly respected out here in SoCal. The whole guys who are out over training at Orange County's 10th Planet and all of those crews, they are busy AF. So I do not envy the travel arranging schedule it is for those guys. I think, yep, what they're showing there was essentially that kind of darce that he hit. They're also hitting his rear naked choke victories. I like his submission grappling, dude. He's a good guy. So I would tell you guys this. Oh, that nasty head and arm triangle was really good from Perez too. Yeah, that's where we ended up talking the last time. I don't know how you guys have in this. Throughout the evening, I'll also be able to integrate some of the percentages that you guys, the fans, have voted in on our polls. So I will bring those into the show a little bit later. I can tell you the results for the first two, and then I can show them to you a little bit later in the show. But historically, we do the over-under segment on the show, and some of you get it pretty okay. Others of you struggle with it. I think it's an interesting vote respect when we see that Kevin beats you. That's when it's a little embarrassing for the folks who are listening who say that they can pick better than Kevin. But the general consensus is a lot of people, it's harder than it looks. If you ever do a writer versus fighter segment and you put your picks on the line, it can come back and bite you in the ass. And you watch these fights way more intensely. I will tell you that much. Commercial break still right now. When we return, it is going to be Juicier Formiga versus Alex Perez. Very excited for that fight. Hope you guys are too. I'm going to go ahead and pull up a little bit more information on both of these gentlemen. You've seen them fight before, but I do like them positioned in this spot. Of course, just to let you know, Alex Perez fighting out over here from Team Oyama. What's up, El Matt U Banez? Banez? I don't really know how to pronounce your name. I'm very sorry. Out here, Lemoore, California, United States. He's been active for about 10 years, 28 age, 28 fights total, 23 wins, 5 losses. Dude has a very, very respectable record. His last win came, as I previously mentioned, with the arm triangle submission. It's very nice that they call it a technical submission. I guess that's always what you want it to be, as opposed to the untechnical submission that get you the wins. Look at this jerk over here with his untechnical triangle. Dick. He also has a win over Mark De La Rosa. He has a loss against Joseph Benavides, and wins over Jose Torres and Eric Shelton in the last couple ones. What's up, Gilberto? Good to see you as well here. Thank you guys for joining. If you have questions, comments, hints, concerns, allegations, all that good stuff, hit us up. If you're watching on YouTube or on Facebook, give us a like. If you're watching on the Instagram, give us some hearts. Press the thing. Tell the people that you love this so that way it goes up on the algorithms, because we do it for your entertainment. I promise you. All right. I'm going to go ahead and take a quick sip of this. Probably send a message to Kevin in just a second. If you know anything about Kevin, you know that he is surprisingly entertained by tonight's fights. He is actually... I didn't know if he would be excited by the number of fights that we had here today or the caliber of them. But even as we were doing over-under this week with young William Tackett, who is also competing tonight, I believe, he had a lot of very interesting things to say about a card that I said, I thought you would have been bored by. And he's like, actually, I'm kind of into it. We are now cage side at the moment. We're not quite at the top of the round, but both gentlemen are already in the octagon. And they already have the camera on Alex Perez, who is pacing frantically back and forth. So let's go ahead and see what this fight is going to be contested at, just to make sure, because as we've gotten into the pandemic, fight weights are a little bit all over the place. This one is going to be in the flyweight category, so good for them. It's very interesting when we see that there's going to be a catch weight because we just go, man, Corona rate. There should really just be a Corona weight champion. If I can make that happen, I will. Introductions continue to go on. I will make one quick extra look to see if ESPN MMA has updated with some good fight photos, because I think you guys need to see that very first win if you get the opportunity to. I think they actually have footage of that win. We will show it to you at the break. But for right now, let's go ahead and centralize our times. If you're watching on the app, it should start. Top of the round goes right now. Gentlemen meet in the center of the octagon. Few punches to feel each other out. Kick by one Alex Perez to begin the fight. Says over here, as the two of them start to circle a little bit around the cage, you're going to find you've got Formiga in the black trunks and Perez wearing the white, though they're almost more silver if you ask me at this point. Kind of grayish. Don't know what I would just say. Maybe off-white. I don't know that you can really just say that. I'd like to see their little pinwheel color scheme. Good exchange over here. Does appear that there was a clip by a left hook. Nothing major. Alex Perez seems to walk it off kind of nicely on that one. So Alex Perez is just not connecting, just trying to get him in on the inside. If he can bring in Formiga with a few of these shadow boxing punches, for a split second, it looked like Formiga was going to try a spinning back kick. Stops midway through. So Rogan is saying on the telecast that it does not look like Formiga is showing any limping just yet from the leg kicks. It is interesting. Yes, you will see right now. Ooh, Alex has been leading the engagements. However, that was a good combination there by Formiga, who was able to read Alex's flurry on the inside and go ahead and stop him and put him down for just a split second. We have 3 minutes and 18 left here in the very first round. Now, as we continue going on into the middle of the section, this isn't necessarily a tepid fight. It's just one where I think they're probably still figuring one another out. Anik is reporting a little bit of swelling on Formiga's face. So now Joe's starting to pick up on the fact that Formiga's just a little bit more nursing the leg a little bit. You're seeing just the wear and tear of checking or not checking some of those kicks per se. What's up, Anders? Good to see you, sir. I think this is an interesting fight in the sense that I do like both of their submission games. So we haven't even gotten to that point yet. Both of them are just kind of still on the exchange. This is also interesting for one Formiga, who's coming off 2 straight losses, one from Joseph Benavidez and one from Brandon Moreno. What's up, Megan? Oh, God. I always enjoy whenever they have DC commentating because it sounds like your dad has a friend he invited to watch the fights over that you didn't want. Nice crack by one Alex Perez, who now lets back Formiga up into the action. And you're going to see Perez probably start to feel a little bit of red in the water right now. Ooh, there is going to be an interesting end to this fight that you're going to see. There's, whoo, that is not great. You're going to see him stand back up after getting cracked in the leg. However, watch the foundation of his leg start to give out in just a second over here. Oh, yikes. Now it does appear that they're going to bring somebody over. You get one. What's up, Overgripped? Good to see you joining us here today. You've got Alex Perez now talking to the camera. You see Formiga on the stool. I like that you've got no. So they're going to do a series of replays right now to show you what the legs look like. Low on the calf is what Rogan is crediting this to. Blah. I like a Megan. Ouch, indeed. Jesus. Oh. I'm going to try and get that photo for everybody on the main broadcast. What's up, Jay Miles? Good to see you. Thank you very much for joining us. We hope that you are having a very nice day. I mean, now it does appear, according to Anik, that Perez is the 11th UFC fighter to get a stoppage due to leg kicks. And they cut to commercial. For those of you who are watching on YouTube and Facebook and Periscope, even on Twitch, I will play for you guys just very quickly, just this little small highlight that they have up on ESPN's Instagram. And this was the scene for the final few moments of Burns versus Dunham. And you could see right over here, he does a great job of just staying under the chin. And then it looks super loose to begin with, but he makes his way into doing it. And if you know anything about the Dunham brothers, it's that they are no slouches when it comes to any of their jiu-jitsu. So, man, it's rough. Of course, they were famously saying that Dunham came out of retirement on there. I will be very forthcoming saying they've always been super nice whenever I've gone to visit their gym. Great people out that way. But that's what happens when you have two high-level black belts going up against one another in a high-pressure situation. I want to say thank you guys who are dropping in likes. That's super nice of you guys. Appreciate it. If you guys don't mind giving us hearts and pressing the hearts and the share buttons, all those things always help us here. I do like that Forrest Griffin has a recurring everyman doofus role that he is needing to play in every single one of the Toyo Tires commercials. Alex Formiga is already about ready to punch at the camera and get the decision in his favor. And I think he will probably take a quick selfie with his team, many of the good folks over from Team Oyama, and then they will probably have him go over to get interviewed by Joe. I would assume, especially since they've got time to kill, because they have essentially figured out they are done with all of their ESPN plus prelims before the prelims. Well, that's very nice. They are continuing. It's very weird. DC's background about Chito Vera is nobody is having more fun than Chito Vera. I see him in the hotel and he's basically just laughing and doing nonsense. I'm like, DC, what the hell are you saying about the guy? Yes, Perez did win. Alex Perez had a very, very good performance here. Formiga's leg did not look bueno by the end of that fight. Hey, Megan Johnson, thank you so much. You know what? Cheers to you. That's what we should start doing. Cheers to anybody who shares this thing. If you share it and show us, and you show us a nice picture of it, we'll cheers you. So this one is going out to one Megan Johnson. Thank you so much for sharing the video. We appreciate that you like it. We appreciate that you endorse it. And more importantly, we appreciate that you have good taste in shows. Cheers to you. All right. Rogan on the microphone. They are doing social distance interviewing right now. What's up, Jiu-Jitsu Jinja? So Perez is saying that he actually had this fight with Formiga way back. It was his second MMA fight, so he was actually very familiar with him. But he's saying that 2020 is his year, which, yikes, because I don't know who else is actually claiming 2020 is their year right now. But props to you, Perez. If you're having a good 2020, you're the one guy. Perez says that he's actually training with some of the best guys out there. He's just feeling really good right now. He's talking about Fernando Padilla, friend of the show, Carla Esparza, and credits his team. Rogan is now asking what it felt like to compete with no crowd. There was no mention of Mike John, though. I will say that. So he had a lot of things going for him, but yes, the crowd is difficult to work without. And he just says, whatever. I've been competing forever. Very nice. He's paying respect to Desmond Torres. Jesus. Alex Perez is dedicating this fight to a handful of people. A few deaths from friends and family. So obviously we feel bad for that. And it's very nice of him to end the interview on that note. Good for him, man. Like I said, he was very nice when we had our interview together. I look forward to potentially interviewing him in the future. I know he's a busy guy. And according to DC, he's probably going to go out and party right now with Chito Rivera. So what are you going to do? Alex Perez now is currently sitting at number 9 on the flyweight rankings. So it'll be interesting to see where he is. And Jussier Formiga was at the number 4 spot. You have to imagine by the end of this weekend, he will climb the rankings, which honestly don't mean all that much. Because really they just have fight whoever the hell they want to. What's up, Steve? Thank you very much for joining us. DC is saying that he is as valuable as a contender as they have out there at the moment. That's a very nice sentiment, and one that I think a lot of people will go ahead and agree with. There's going to be a UFC Chronicle on Josh Salmon. I remember very distinctly when we were doing our show, he was one of the few people that we didn't get when we were starting to profile all the Ultimate Fighter folks from year 17, I believe, of the Ultimate Fighter. But that was essentially when we started this podcast. But by all the accounts of everybody on that cast that we talked to, and there were a number, they had very, very high things and respectable things to say about one, Josh Salmon. Well, that is what is going on over here on this side of the prelims. He was savage. He really was, man. That season, I mean, we're biased. We existed doing the Ultimate Fighter 1 minute reviews, which was a heavy part of our show. You know, it's a very different beast to not have an Ultimate Fighter now. But now we have the Dana White Contender Series. But when we watch that season, I think it's one of our favorite seasons. Just takes us back to a good time. Plus, it was hella fun to talk to a lot of those fighters. And shout out to our good friend, Bubba McDaniel. We love you. We hope you're doing well, bud. So right now they're vamping, or the entertainment industry term for stalling, which means that they're waiting for us to go ahead and get a reset so that at top of the hour, they can go to the next set of prelims. So as they vamp, so will I. As I remind you guys, if you would do us a solid, if you're not following us here at the Grappling Hour, do us a solid and follow us on YouTube, on Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, Periscope, and all the other ones. I can't even remember. Did I say them? There's like 6 of these things. They're all at Grappling Hour, so we make it very easy for you to follow us. We will be here throughout the entire evening tonight. We are recapping the fights. Steve, thank you. You said you will do. I'm going to go ahead and cheers you right now because I trust that you will follow us on those other places. This cheers goes out to you, Steve. Will do isn't really much of a commitment, but, you know, I'll take it. Cheers to you. All right. To those of you back over here on the main telecast, you will have a stream that will go throughout the entire evening, while unfortunately the good folks over on Instagram, the time will go ahead and eclipse on this. They only allow us an hour to be on here. Plus, you won't get to see all of the madcap fun that we have on the main broadcast, where I can bring in photos, I can bring in a little bit of videos, and kind of keep you guys updated as we see some of the best things that are going out that way. I want to thank the folks who are watching also on Periscope. I see you guys. I try to keep up. Those comments kind of disintegrate very quickly. So I really do my best to try and keep my eyes on it. But every once in a while, I will miss a couple. And so I apologize in advance. I am not actively trying to ignore any one of you guys. Unless you're a bot. You see those bots every once in a while? They're now just putting up, oh my God, loved it. Which, by the way, I think is the worst thing you can program a bot to say in response to any video you post, is being like, loved it. And you're like, no, you didn't. You're a Russian bot. How dare you? Don't tell me you love something. Did you like it, Russian bot? And what specifically did you like? You always feel like a teacher in high school asking, like, yeah, you read the book? Well, what part? What's your favorite part of the book? Just tell us. That's fine if you didn't read it. It's totally cool. Steve, I am deaf a bot. Hey, you know what, Steve? you aren't saying more than 3-word sentences. So you very well could be a bot, but you're a well-programmed bot. So kudos to your maker. Just to let you guys know how committed to this process I am, I have only had a couple bites of this pizza. Now, I will continue to eat it. But I wanted to make sure we were able to go ahead and talk our way through a number of those big fights that we had leading us into it. Top of the hour at 5 p.m. We have another 4 fights. Just to preview which fights those are, it is Charles Byrd versus Maki Pitolo, Cody Salmon versus Brian Kelleher, Ian Heinch versus Gerard Mershart, and Alex Caceres versus Chase Hooper. Y'all have a lot of opinions as to who's winning. I will be very happy to bring on the numbers that we have from those of you who have made predictions. Here's an interesting thing, though. When we do these shows and we say, who do you think is going to win on the Instagram? Some of these are good. Most of them are bad. For example, tonight, 71% of you guys said that you believed Herbert Burns was going to win. You were correct. 41% of you said that Clark was going to win. You were not correct. Formiga had 58% to Perez's 42%. That was also incorrect. So, 1 for 2 isn't terrible to start. But that's how it begins when you start losing to Kevin. When you lose to Kevin, just, you don't want to deal with that. He will continue talking about it. What's up, Randall? Good to see you. Thank you for joining the show. I'm going to go ahead and do a solid over here this way. That's bots for you. Yeah, that's the unfortunate part. Maybe, you know what? Maybe that's what we're going to do. That should be our slogan now on most of our social media. Number 1 to bots. It's a good moniker. Yeah, we're going to run with that. Everybody always has like their moniker for, I see all these people being like world's greatest jiu-jitsu podcast. And I'm like, I listen to it. It's not. Sometimes they're like best MMA podcast, most knowledgeable guys. And I'm like, we're goofy. But our moniker is we've been around the longest, which is true. So that's our little claim to fame over that way. But number 1 in bots, I don't think anybody's trying to fight us for that title. They always say, I think Gary's trying to get that one that's like your mom's favorite grappler. We should be saying your bot's favorite grappler. Grappling podcast. That's it. Genius. You guys just saw marketing happen right before your eyes. Stephen Kesting knows. Man, I love the shit out of Stephen Kesting. He's good people. I'm glad that he's leading the charge on science, and I'm glad that he is one of the respected people in jiu-jitsu who can actually speak as an epidemiologist and kind of usher us through on, hey, here's a smarter way to go back to training, because we will see this week in Los Angeles specifically, they announced that gyms should be allowed to open. A lot of the times, though, they aren't necessarily thinking about us. So there are going to be need to be a lot of people looking at how those restrictions work and doing their best to try and keep everybody safe as we go back, because there is an uptick in COVID cases. So just saying. What's up, Heather Woods? Good to see you. Former commentating partner from Submissions by the Shore. Good to see you. Glad you're having a good day. I just assumed you did. You don't need to tell me you did. I just know it. I'm going to go ahead and take off the Jussier and Formiga branding. I'm going to have to give this cell phone a quick little charge as we prepare for the next set of fights. I will take any questions that you guys got for us right now as we wait. We're almost there. Should be at the top of the hour coming back in. I also got to make sure that this stupid thing actually keeps going. I hate how they segment it. I want to be able to press the UFC button that makes it go for the entire amount of time for prelims. But sometimes they do that thing, especially on Fight Pass, where you would have to repress a button to make it watch the different set of prelims. It's very annoying. I know these are first world problems, but they make my life very, very difficult, which in turn makes your viewing experience, I'm sure, very, very difficult to watch. Again, I'm going to remind you guys, hearts over here, upvotes and likes and shares on the YouTube and Facebook, and then as well on Periscope. Give us lots of hearts there. And on Twitch, I don't know what the hell y'all are supposed to give me there. I don't think you guys can give us money yet, but believe me, when you can, we will ask for it. We will say, give us money. Because as far as I'm concerned, it looks like these nerds play video games and y'all just throw fucking money at them like, whoa. So we'll take it. I think the first time somebody showed me Twitch and I saw somebody just tip somebody $20, and I was like, why did they tip them? They're like, oh, they just like the show. I said, that's fucking stupid. Well, yeah, I mean, it's video games, dude. They got money to burn. They don't care. I'm trying to see how quickly we are going to have to transfer in a second. The Instagram will run out at the hour period. I see over here we have somebody watching. We have Gabe, who is joining us on the telecast over on the Facebook side. Thank you, Gabe. You're always good to see in the rooms. Appreciate you, bro. Glad you're here. I should be sharing this in a second. I'll take care of all of the bots don't tip, yo. Well, fuck them. They should learn, dude. If they're going to take money out of people's bank accounts illegally, give us some. Dicks. All right, we're at the top of the hour now. Let's see if it just rolls on over to the next one, because coming up after this, it should be Bird versus Pitolo. So don't quote me on this. I am just appeasing the noted works here. Apex Center, they're showing the nice video footage of it. A very dead Vegas. It's very weird to see Vegas not being used or utilized all that much. Whenever you see Vegas closed, you're like, man, that just looks weird. Especially during Fight Week, which is coming up very soon. It does appear, though, that Fight Week and all of those other branded elements are going to be during the Fight Island era of the UFC, which we're still waiting to hear about, because they have not figured out what the hell they're going to do for Fight Island. Dana White. Oh, no, it was revealed today, and I think I can actually put this out there. Good call. I think it was promoted today that the Dana White Fight Island is supposed to be off of Abu Dhabi somewhere. I think there is a report by Combate magazine that says that Fight Island is going to be there. So someone called and they messaged me and they said it's off Yas Island, which just sounds like a response. Like, where's the island? Yas Island. Yas. So that's the joke we've been running with so far. It's not smart, but it's free. Anyway, I don't know what I can do to tell you guys on the Instagram anymore, but when it comes time, make the switch on over to Facebook or YouTube. You'll enjoy the streams there. Or if you got the Periscope, watch us there as well. We will be here all night. We will be giving you updates on the fights that are going on. And just to let you guys know, we are not showing you the fights illegally. That's not what we do. What's up, Kohan? Kohan Trainer. That's an interesting name. Take your shirt off. No, I don't think you want that. Especially after COVID and how much I've had to gain weight from. Nah, bro. It's not the time. Also, not tipping. So if I'm going to slut it up, you guys are going to pay premium price. I will say you were the first person to ever put that request our way. So that is always going to follow you now. They're still previewing everything, which makes me nervous that this is not the right prelims one. So I'm going to do a solid in a few minutes, but it does look like they're previewing the entire card. I just want to make sure I'm live with them as it goes on. Because normally whenever they switch over to the next set of prelims, they very briefly mention what's going on. It's because they transition to ESPN. So they figure if you're just watching on ESPN, this is your first opportunity to hear about a lot of these fighters, and you get the educational moments of them. You said "and last." You don't know that. You don't know my business. All right, I'm going to give this a share over to our good friends in Verbal Tap Land. I'm going to tell them to say hello. Hope that they are doing well as well. If I know our avid fan base, they are probably starting to get high right now. Gross. They're doing their, if you want to buy this fight, go pay $84 and get the fight and a full year of ESPN.com. Which always makes me wonder, what if you bundle that with Hulu? Like, that doesn't work. These are all like this is a fucking pyramid scam, I swear. I'm going to go ahead and say, join us for hashtag UFC 250. Actually, I think was I there for 200? I think I might have been there for no, it was one of their anniversaries. And they brought out this really cool poster that essentially had all of the logos from all of their old like fight posters put together to make one giant UFC banner. And it looked really, really amazing. I'm kind of sad that they have to subdue a little bit of their celebration, because normally they would be congratulating themselves quite nicely. We do see, I think this is Bird that is making the walkout right now. I'll take a look in just a second. You've got Patolo there as well. All right. So again, this may run out here on Instagram. Just reminding you, Instagram only goes for an hour. So if it cuts off, go to the other ones. Yes, Charles Bird is making the walkout now, actually. My apologies. I think I might have said that wrong. It's still very interesting to see Dana White not wearing masks during any of the weigh-ins when all of the fighters are wearing masks. Because if you think about what that symbolizes, you wear the mask not to protect yourself, but to protect the other person. So literally all of the fighters are protecting Dana White. And if there's a metaphor that I don't know that is better than that, then please tell me. But especially this week when Dana White was getting into a little bit of war of words with one Street Jesus over the idea of them being compensated. And you can tell that Dana starts to lose the argumentation side when he starts saying, like, these guys just want more money. Well, no shit, dude. But you had Masvidal saying in the news this week that Dana White essentially, what's up, Tiago? That Dana White was basically bitching the fact that, Street Jesus wanted to get paid, dude. And that they only make 12 to 15% of the overall revenue of the company. So he's like, dude, if you want me to fight on your dumb fight island or during times where people can barely train, pay me. you got the money. And Dana's like, no, it's a hard time with this. These guys are independent contractors. And it's like, well, they can't make competitive buying. Like, you can't go out there and just do that. Anyway, that's a nice little talk about the business side of all the things. What's up, Justin, man? Is that in reference to, like, the way that Terrence Howard says the word man, or is that Justin Maine? Because I don't know. Sometimes I'm not in on the joke, so it'd be nice if you tell me. Appreciate it. All right. Mackie Patolo gets a nice little introduction over this way. In just a second, they will go ahead and take the center stage, and at which point I will bring you as much of the updates as possible as they go ahead and proceed. Just to let you guys know how the numbers shake out on this one. Our viewers believe it is pretty close. 53% for Bird and 47% for Patolo. Now I'm interested to see how this one shakes out. However, I will say during a lot of the undercards, there are a lot of people who only vote for the main card fighters. Just saying, they usually tend to call themselves experts. There's a far less number of people who voted on this one. Just saying. Herb Dean has the call for the man who will be able to control the action. I don't know how fighters can have gauges in their ears and then tape them up. That seems like fucking terrible to me. All right, the two of them are now fighting. It is 4:54 on my television. What's up, Alex? Good to see you, bro. Just sitting here watching the fights. We got some people watching here. This telecast will end, and when it does, go ahead and watch with everybody else. Woo! Very quickly, one Patolo. Shake it up a little bit of Bird. Hope you're doing well, my brother. But yeah, if you guys get cut off here, go watch on our YouTube and our Facebook streams to continue watching along with us as we give you updates on what is happening on tonight's UFC 250 card. Right now, we're doing the prelims. You see Bird doing a good job of just pressuring that cage. Patolo is actually really composed, though. He doesn't look too faded. He doesn't look too pissed about any of this. What minute of the round? You just said this right now, right? It is the beginning of the first round of 3. It is 3:53 left to go on mine, on my TV. However, I can give you an update. My app is actually 20 seconds ahead. So I can let you know, yes, it is round 1. Now I'm listening in to see if they have any decent insight. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, on the headphones over this way, and I'll keep you guys in the knowledge of what is happening in my ear. It's 2 a.m. here, brother. Have to watch this in the morning. Hey, bro, I totally understand. I know where you're at. Just having you come in and support us is always appreciated, my man. I hope that you enjoy the rest of your night. If there's anything good fight-wise, I'm sure you'll hear about it. But if we don't get to say anything nicer to you, you record this? Yeah, this goes live here, but then on our YouTube and our Facebook, it stays in perpetuity. So when we say dumb things, it exists there forever. But yeah, they'll be on there. And we actually split them up between prelims and main cards. So if you guys are watching this right now, we'll do a separate stream for the main cards so that you can watch along back with us if you're into that sort of thing. I don't know what you're into it, but yeah, we do record it. Bird has a very interesting control here. It's just trying to put a little bit of pressure, almost like a can opener on the neck. But instead, I mean, dude, this is, again, prime real estate to try and get that guillotine. Does not quite get it. Fucking pro. Have a good night. You too as well, bud. Appreciate it, man. Thomas Flota, yes, nice indeed. This has already started to be a pretty good fight. As you see a reversal of fortune for one Patolo, who's now on top after getting a little bit of pressure over this way from one Bird. What's up, Kagumas? Good to see you. It so sucks that you can always, as a jiu-jitsu practitioner, just be very centralized and focused on the one element of things that you know. Because I just keep seeing guillotines. I keep seeing take full mount and start trying to isolate that arm. But we just, we're not fighters. Over here in half on the TV, however, on my app, 20 seconds ahead, you see one Bird going for an amazing takedown here. Ugh. It is getting the admiration of one Daniel Cormier on the call, who's just obsessing over how he was able to elevate and execute. Rogan is giving a lot of credit over here to the short elbows by one Bird on top. And you will see him working from a very, very dominant position. What's up, Amir? You have 007 in your name. I'm going to venture you're a James Bond fan. Call it a guess. You got over here, Bird is now working in a very just pressure-filled side control. It doesn't look like there's a ton of element to it. He has an opportunity for a split second to go for a rear naked choke, but instead is going to continue to put down a lot of control just to make life miserable. Somewhere in the exchange got a little sloppy, though. End of the first round. We will go to the second in just a second. I'm going to take a look and see what new information I have for you guys as we look over at the Instagram to see if there's anything new. ESPN MMA. How are you guys enjoying that first round? How do you have it scored? It should be pretty apparent, I think. What's up, Gladys? What's up, Sonier? I probably said that name wrong. I don't know if I'm supposed to say it a different way. Tell me if I am. I'm also curious. We should get a collection of the different commercials everybody gets. On my TV, I've got Proper 12, and on the app, it's one of those like deadly drugs where they're starting to do all the side effects as children are running and like playing jump rope, and it's like, you might die from this. Which one is this? Avog injection. No thanks. All right, a minute 34 over here left on our Instagram. Appreciate you guys watching. Transfer on over to the main broadcast. We would love to have you there. It is at Grappling Hour on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitch, and on Periscope. Any one of those, and you'll continue watching along with some of the other fun that we do. Top of the second round going on right now. Appreciate you guys watching. We hope that you'll continue doing that over with us. We will be here all night. And if you need to take a break, no problem, but just come back in a little bit. We'll see you very, very soon. Back to the matters at hand right now. 1-2 over by Patolo. Very deep overhand. What's up, John? I was just telling people to go watch us over on Facebook or YouTube. Nice work over by Patolo, who's starting to just crack a little bit on Bird, but Bird returns. He's got this real deep overhand. He is swinging wildly. Yeah, Anik is just saying that he's just making very short contact with Bird. Nothing really crazy about his jab. But now he's able to go and time his shots a little bit easier. He's going to be able to make it really, really annoying. Ooh, hammer fist over by one. Patolo here, who's going to get the stop. What's up, Squares? All right, that's the last 30 seconds. You hear the end of that one. Pataki is going to get the finish over that. We'll cheers them in a second. Much love to you guys on Instagram. Go join us on YouTube and Facebook at Grappling Hour. Bye. It's not paused during poor connection. I literally just turned it off. Let's do a download there. So they're trying to figure out how he ended up getting on the floor. They're not really sure. Flauta, how much left? That was, I believe, round 2. And we are at a finish. Oh, this guy again. Jesus. Von Mike, at least say hello to us. I didn't delete your last one the last time, so just do your business and say a nice word to the people here. So now they're figuring up body shots over. Starts dropping them. Yep, these short elbows, which, by the way, I got to give a nice trip. Okay. Patolo was able to go and work the body over in the cage side after he started unloading there. Gets a nice little inside trip on him, gets him to the ground while you see Bird was covering up. Patolo just started unleashing a set of hammer fists, and they were finishing the round. What's up, Mike? Good to see you, bud. Glad you're joining us here today. So, yeah, that was round 2 finish, Thomas. Not sure if you saw that, but it's epic, man. He'll also be on our cheers list in a little bit. Blah. I'm going to put this on to share to IG so that people can see us there, say what's up to us, much like you guys are joining us right now. All right, I'm going to go ahead and try and charge this for a split second while we wait for them to talk on over to Joe. They're doing all of their interviews remotely. So Rogan is over on the side. He gets his headset on. Very beginning of the night, you could tell Rogan was really pissed because they didn't have the headset on. And Joe is of the mindset of if he's getting tested with all these guys, he should be able to just go in there. And the weird way that he says it is he goes, you know, when these guys fight, I just like to be able to go in there and just, you know, see another man eye to eye. And it's like, calm down, Joe. You know, this is an interview, dude. You could say like, hey, man, it's just easier to do the interview there. But instead, Joe makes it like very bro-y, which kudos to him. Mike, hit me up, man. How are you enjoying tonight's fights so far? Are you just joining right now, or have you seen any of the other fights leading into this one? I'm not quite sure what your situation is, but we now should have an official decision coming up here in just a second as they are over. Bruce is going to make it official. You will see a hand raised, and Mackie Patolo should be interviewed. He is also now wearing a flag draped around as a cape. I don't know how people feel about that one. Is what it is. All right. UFC prelims. 250 prelims. So, Bruce Buffer has now made it official. I would like to remind you guys, if you are not doing so just yet, give us some likes, give us some shares, give us some hearts if you got them. It's very strange. Every one of these platforms has a different way of saying that you like the broadcast. Commenting is also cool, so we don't mind that. Go and talk to us as the event's going on live. But if you like the heart one, if you like the little cares one, that one's cool too. Prelims. I like that my auto text on all of my devices will 100% choose the stupidest option every time. I just put prelims on the auto correct thing and it just said preliminaries. And I'm like, no one says that. No one in their right mind says that. Pull up. Yeah, I should have added that somewhere. All right, let's go ahead and see if I have any updates for you on what's going on at Third Coast Grappling. I'll check on that in just a second. I don't know that they're going to be revealing results, so that means maybe we'll check our good friends over at BJJ World. Okay. So Rogan is complimenting Patolo's fight, and Patolo's just throwing up the double guns and posing a lot. His response to all of that is, I'm a specimen. Double gun pose. Look at me. He now is making the gesture for give me more money. He's giving shout outs to all the gyms that were able to support him during the quarantine. He also gave a shout out to, I think, his girlfriend. Okay, he just said some chick turned 20, which I'll tell you this much. Never, ever say on live TV, just, you know, how old somebody is when you shout out their birthday, unless they're comfortable with it. Most times, usually not. Lots of double guns posing at the camera. Okay, well, we didn't learn anything from that interview. We learned, no, that's not true. We learned he was a specimen and that he believes he is a specimen. That's what we learned. That's just fucking ridiculous. I would hope all of you have something other to say if someone is giving you an interview and be like, well, how would you talk about this fight? It was amazing. You have a lot of skill. Well, I am a specimen, first and foremost. Cody Salmon is shown getting ready in the background. 18-2-1, 6 wins by knockout, 2 by submission. He's coming up a little bit later. I'm going to go and kill the Trailsberg versus Mackie Patolo. Congrats to Mackie. He did get a finish. He will get a cheers a little bit later. Cody and Brian coming up next. Very excited for that one. Kelleher's got 21-10. So this is his third appearance in 2020. So these are the guys that probably are the most stoked to get the calls during COVID and the age of weirdness where nobody knows who and how and what they're fighting with. Oh, God. This is so dumb. All right. I do not see any results over for BJJ World just yet, but he's normally really good about keeping us updated on all things grappling. So I'm going to keep an eye out. If you guys see anything different, let me know. Going to return back over to, let's share in a group as well. Want to give a shout out to the Verbal Tap fam. Love you guys. Thank you guys in our group for always sending us good notes. You guys have been instrumental. You know, we're not going to tell you guys it's like exclusive, but they're just better than you. You're welcome to join. It's very easy. You just go to our group, Verbal Tap fam. Join that. Daily questions to all of our group there. You guys are the first to know things that happen on the show. And yes, if you ask a question in that group, I might ask that to the athletes that come on our show. I don't promise it because sometimes the interviews go a different way. And I'm not always in charge of how weird or not weird they get. But this week we did ask one of the questions to our guest, who just happened to be one Craig Jones. So if you guys like to be up on the latest Verbal Tap news, hit us up at Verbal Tap Fan. Join in there. We appreciate you guys. You are part of the reason we have great things going on our show. What else do I got for you guys? I'm trying to look around and get a balance of what's happening in the outside world. I've not seen any results. I'm not sure what time Third Coast Grappling goes on. We will probably have one of the folks who are watching here tonight give you guys some updates as they become available. Share successful. Excellent. Glad to see that. Let me go and check other news areas where I can share this. I want to make sure if you guys are watching on Twitter, you guys are also being acknowledged. It's very strange that you could be watching this on Twitter to me sometimes, because most of the times people just wrote off Twitter, but there are a lot of you guys that tune in on that one. And it is hard to keep up with because they have those comments that just evaporate. So I've had people be like, hey, man, we like watching you on these things, but you didn't answer us on Periscope. I'm like, bro, I didn't know you talked to us. Boom. All right, Cody Salmon versus Brian Kelleher coming up next in a few minutes. In the meantime, we've got some moments to kill. I'll take a look at the coverage that is going on by many of the great journalists. And I want to give a big shout out to all the people over at The Athletic. I don't know what the hell happened with them this week, but apparently they had to do some layoffs, I'm supposing, with different business models. But those guys had a very good subscription-based form of reporting with some of the like all-stars of MMA journalism. And so many of them, including, I think, their main editor, got let go. It's just, it's terrible to see. So I hope, you know what, they're going to land somewhere else. I'm pretty assured of that. But Jesus Christ. Rough to see, my friends. So hope they are doing all well. Obviously, it's a tough time. And I couldn't get it heads or tails on it, but it does look like, I think it is Ben Folks. I think he's still writing for The Athletic. But it looked like one of the first smart attempts at doing like a subscription-based reporting. And it was just this week that I think folks put up an article that said something to the effect of how much are fighters really getting paid? And it's a real big question mark considering other industries are very vocal about how much they get paid. Here, we know what they report to the athletic commission, which doesn't necessarily always match up. So it was a very, very prominent article. It's one that from a guy who I would assume usually does a good job on those things. And I hadn't gotten the chance to read it, but when I saw that what happened the next day, I was like, oh, I wonder if it's still up there. And then it was gone. I was like, oh, no. Well, the rest of the team is gone. So that was the good news to find out that day. So anyway, we'll keep you posted on where some of those guys end up because there's so much bad journalism in our sport. And they're some of the top tier guys. So I look forward to seeing them. Hey, what's up, everybody on Periscope? I love you guys. I can see you now. If you have comments, hit us up now. I'll take your comments specifically from Periscope right now. So hit me up there. We've also got all of our friends watching on Facebook and on YouTube. We are in the middle of a break as we prepare to go to our next fight, which at the bottom is already marked as to what it's going to be. Trying to think. Do you guys have Noons winning this? We had 15% of our responders say that they thought that Felicia was going to win. And unfortunately, I don't get to ask a follow-up question that says, how do you see Spencer beating Noons? Anything is possible in this world. We've seen weirder and stranger stuff. But I would love a follow-up question, if I'm being honest. So there is that. And just to let you guys know, these are fight companions. This is not the actual stream. There are people who leave comments in these things who say that they've got a very sweet setup. Go to those people if you want illegal streams. We're not doing that here. And even then, like, some of the illegal streams look pretty bad. I wouldn't do them if I were you guys. You guys know where the good ones are. I wouldn't know where to look. All right. What else do I need to tell you guys? If you're watching on any form of our social media as well, give us a heads up on there. You guys can reach me at Grappling Hour on any of those platforms. I'll integrate you guys into the show as well as I best possibly can. So let me see what I've got here. Walter Lowry, thank you very much for the share and love. We appreciate you, bud. So far, so good on the fights this evening. I don't know why we're talking about Serena Williams, but yeah, she's dope. I love when they have these random moments that are like, otherwise on ESPN, you should probably watch and know these things. Or if it's like an important, I see what they're doing. It is an important black athlete's profile, which is nice, or prominent female athletes. Perfectly fine. At this point, if that fight ended in the second round, we do have some fight time to kill. Or as Kevin says, these fights on fight nights go on for exactly 12 hours. All right. Well, let me see what I got for you guys. I've also, let me see, I think I might have spotted a couple of notes that I see from ESPN's photos. I'm going to pull up what I can for you guys so you can get a little preview of what has been going on for the rest of the evening. If you're just joining us now, it has been an intense night. Okay. ESPN MMA put this up, and I would 100 million% agree with them. And it says, who let DC MMA use the telestrator? That man loves him some telestrator. He made 12, 13, somewhere in there, 12 different bullet points with the telestrator, and it looks like a version of playing Minefield. And then on this one, they're going to go ahead and show the ending over to the last fight with Patolo finishing off Bird. And watch the sweep coming up right there. Great trip over on that side with hammer fists to close it on out. And that is how that fight ended. Great show so far. Very pleased. We have some cheers to do a little bit later, as I mentioned. What's up, Jason Lewis, 76? What's up, TBA? When you come up with the name TBA, I mean, when's the TBA happen? Like, when's the to be announced? What's up, One US? So many of these are fake profiles, and we love you guys. Number one in bots, Grappling Hour is what we like to say. All right, what else? I guess I can take a couple bites of pizza in a second. But before I do, I'll take one other look to see if any of the other folks have an update for us. Let's check Flow Grappling to see if they have profiled any latest news. No, they're just talking about the Kumite, but I guess we can take a quick look at what this looks like right now. So they are Central Time Zone. This is their card that they've got going on tonight. Their Kumite starts at 8 o'clock, which means they're about 30 minutes out. Got an interesting thing. I can't tell. It might be a tag team element that starts off the evening. Then they've got Pedro Mino versus William Tackett, Manuel Ribaramar versus Roberto Jimenez, Jake Watson versus Gabe Argis, Gustavo Batista versus Jamie Canuto. Those are all really, really good individuals. Then Niles Pebbles versus Tevin Sandoz, and then they take a nice little intermission. The break is 3 minutes long. That's really what they're putting as the break. What kind of break is 3 minutes long? I don't have a chat with them. Afterwards, they get on over to Christian Guzman versus Bradley Clifton. Then they have the second set of semis, Jordan Holy and Jacob Alfin. That's a weird last name, bud. We're going to have to talk to you about that. I feel like I'm supposed to say Dolphin instead of Alfin. It's like, what are you, bud? Is that you? Are you a dolphin? Alfin, bro. That's Alfin. All right, that's what we got going on. And then I don't even know what Danaher is saying here. He says he has a message for the jiu-jitsu community. What do you think that message was? Because if I have to guess, it's probably about hookers and blow, if you know what he talks about to his students. That's what we heard. All right. What else do I got for you guys? All right, Lady Works at 5:30. Be on shortly after. Just going to send a couple notes to a couple folks, and then we can continue on. I believe when they return back from commercial, they will have Cody and Brian and keep this party going on. I think we might have gotten a comment over on our Periscope, trying to keep our eyes and ears on everything because you guys are all over the place. We'll just say hi to everybody there. That one's from Monkey D. Finno. Thank you very much for watching. Appreciate y'all. This is just a promo for excellence. I think they're just saying how much they love being on ESPN in the past. It's like a walk down memory lane of 2019. Remember audiences, everybody? Remember BMFs? I mean, to be fair, Masvidal makes a really good point in terms of pay that man his money. He has given you a fight. And he's been one of the most consistently entertaining things that you've seen in the UFC. So, no, he's pushing all in at a very smart time. I think we're actually also going to go for a split second over on the Grappling Hour. Branding over on at Grappling Hour. I forgot. I have two of these channels on Instagram. So that means we get 2 hours of this. Here we go. Thank you guys again for joining us over on all of our broadcasts. If you're watching us over on Instagram, we appreciate you. We love you. We're in the process of watching ESPN on UFC or reverse prelims that are happening right now for UFC 250. What's up, Aurora? What's up, Grappler's Life? Good to see you, bud. I'm glad to see all the progress you're making, man. Saw you getting up and walking. You want to be in the live video? Hey, bud, I would, except I'm actually on 2 different telecasts. If you want to come through and do an interview on a different day, I'd love to chat with you, man. I will let you know. Yeah, we're just doing the live Let's Watch, and I'm on YouTube and Facebook, so people on there couldn't see that. But we'll set one up where we can actually talk, and we'll catch up. We'll see what's going on, dude, because I know you have a lot to talk about, and I would love to hear so much about what's been going on, dude. We've been watching by proxy and just inspiration, dude. Always good to see you. Brian Kelleher is over in his corner right now. My dog is not phased. Does not seem to care for Brian. All good. Love your show. Man, that is reciprocated, dude. We love you. All right. Fight should be starting in just a second. Right now, Cody also making the rounds. The two of those folks have already fought during the whole COVID situation, so that's how you got to know they are ready for whatever Dana's got to throw at them. And I think just looking at how they're grouping some of these guys together, they're like, have you fought? Do you want to fight again? Just get it back in there, dude. UFC is just short of being like, you just fit. Yeah, whatever, dude. Commission doesn't care. Just go. Commission's all on quarantine too. All right. Fight has begun. I'm going to pull it up live also on my phone, so that way I'm on real time as much as possible and can keep you guys as updated as I can. All right, here we go. 4:28 on the clock over here. Cody getting a nice return series to a kick initiated by one Brian Kelleher. Nice head kick attempt by Kelleher. Cody Stamen. I know they call him Stamen, but I just keep wanting to call him Stamen, just looking at the name. But, you know, hey, it's how he prefers to say it. So really the operations that you're seeing right now, low kicks by Kelleher, good series of combinations on the stand-up by Cody as a response. It is interesting to see. I think Joe Rogan is now pointing out the fact that both of them tend to switch stances constantly as they walk throughout this fight. 3:29 left to go left in this bout. Joseph Benavidez is going to be in the Stamen corner as well, just to let you guys know the type of star caliber that they've got, that they work with outside of this octagon. Cody responded with his own nice kick. DC is now talking about having to deal with emotions in the middle of the fight. Not really sure where he's coming in with this, but okay, sure. What's up, puppy? Yeah, Cody's doing an excellent job of continuing to stay on Brian here. Lots of pressure by him. And it looks like continuously you'll see Brian keep the distance as much as he can with the kicks. Apparently, Anik is saying behind the scenes during Stamen's last fight, Dana White came down himself and said, "You were a serious underdog in that last fight." What a great thing to tell someone. Hey, I actually thought you weren't going to win, you dummy, but yeah, you did. So good job. For a split second, it's nice to see Brian catch this leg kick from Cody. Tries to off-balance him. Now you see a reversal fortune. Brian's starting to pressure in Cody. He's got to slip out, see if he can return the action back to the center of the octagon. Nice knockdown over by Cody, though. So now we're talking 90 seconds left to go in this match. Of the first round, sorry. It is very interesting to see the delay. It is still about 20 seconds between app and television. I don't know what television carriers you may have, but there is some evidence to suggest that if you were watching it on your app, you are a clear 25 seconds ahead. Yeah, I don't know how much you're going to see on the stats for Brian's output. It's not like it's been bad, but continuously for Cody, he's found his way back to the center and just looks like he's stalking consistently Brian Kelleher's movements. Looks like we're probably gearing up for a second round in just a split second. Not a super significant fight. You are seeing Brian Kelleher start to kind of wipe away a little bit of sweat and whatnot with his gloves on his face. What's up, Jiu-Jitsu fam? 6. Thank you for watching. Appreciate you being here. Coming up on the 10 seconds now. Time has expired over on that for my ESPN app version. I'll just catch the tail end of their exchange again on my television. That is the nice benefit of seeing the delay between the two, is I can see a little bit of the preview and then watch it on my TV and kind of see a little bit more of the form on how they're doing it. Brian trying to feint the jab, switches stances again, and the two of them just expire the time. Okay. That's about the timber of the fight that we've got going on right now. If you're joining us on Instagram, hello. Hope you're enjoying the fights. We also have broadcasts going on our YouTube and on our Facebook. If you're not following us at Grappling Hour, what's wrong with you? Just seriously. You can tell me. You just apologize. It's fine. And then we've also got a fun-filled night of viewing. There's going to be tons more to watch. Of course, the main card is top-lined by Amanda Nunes versus Felicia Spencer. Most people believe that Amanda Nunes will continue tonight, proving why she is the female GOAT. All right, the action returns. Second round, top of right now. Cody coming out very aggressive to begin. Another plug for the Josh Salmon documentary that'll be on ESPN later this week. I look forward to watching that if I get the opportunity, and I will try and make time, at least on demand version for it. Oops, sorry. Yeah, one of my tripods for this one. What's up, Eduardo? Good to see you. Glad you're joining us here. Hope you're enjoying it. There is a lot of things happening this evening. Third Coast Grappling is also going to start in about 15 minutes. So if you guys have Flow Grappling, go watch that as well. But stay with us if you need results for the evening's fights on the UFC. We're happy to keep you guys updated as much as we can. Kelleher now continuously pushing up Cody against the cage, which seems to be, I think, the strategy differentium. They're going to return back to the center of the octagon. Oh, no. So I just discovered from our good friend Kevin Phillips that he just got his power back. That'll be an interesting story to get, but we'll get that soon enough. Eduardo, are you watching fights? Are you watching any of this? If so, let us know what versions of things you're watching. Are you watching the Third Coast? Oh, no. Joe Rogan is now saying that he thinks that this is the best version of Cody Stamann he has ever seen, which I don't think is too wrong on that. Cody's looked very controlled and calm throughout this whole thing. As we get to the halfway point, you got to figure out Brian's the one that's got to put all the action on this. If you look over at Brian, you're seeing his face get a little bit more busted up. Cody looks still pretty good, all things considered. However, Kelleher now gets the opportunity to go ahead and start putting it on Cody. Up against the cage, Cody fighting back out of it. Cody staying very composed, comes back in, finds a duck under, is able to come in and start punching through, finds the holes. DC is saying that it appears that Cody is very, very important in terms of trying to stay consistent to get the finish. Cody is one of those guys who's he really is more concerned on like being self-conscious about not getting the fight in the finish. Does appear that there's a little bit of a squint that they were talking about. For a split second, it looked like Brian thought he might be able to try and secure at least head control, if not a guillotine, to work through it. And there is a takedown over on this side. Working from inside of the guard, do see a little bit of blood happening. Brian Kelleher doing a good job to try and get a little bit of control on the back of the head, pulling him in. I would say at this point, you do see Cody Stamann a little tired. Referee now telling him he has to consistently work. There's a little bit more than a minute left in this second round. Great flexibility. If I remember correctly, in his last fight, or at least in another fight that I've seen with Brian Kelleher, he has very strong flexibility where he can almost pull off that good rubber guard. You do see Cody not super comfortable in this position. Cody very much wants to stand back up. Almost to a single, doesn't quite get it. Now just kind of pushes him back on over to the edge of the cage. 20 seconds left to go on this side. Ten-second clacker. Not much there. Brian gets a nice punch. And there's a spinning kick attempt that is kind of dusted off by both of them, and they end the round. All right, let us see what new information we have. Flow Grappling has not updated anything, but if we see any news throughout the night about Third Coast Grappling, we will give it to you as the evening goes on. Flow Grappling did start a new video, though. Wonder if that's leading into their event. What are the odds? Want to say for Gi U Gitsu Hero, it's a weird name, but thank you for following us. We appreciate it. Glad you enjoy our work over at Verbal Tap. It's dope of you to be part of the team now. That's what it is. That's what that commercial is. So it's like one commercial here is UFC by the pay-per-view, and then the other one on the app is, hey, do you have constipation? Take this pill. Might help you. Might kill you. Top of the third right now. Interesting. It appears that Joe is reporting that in Brian Kelleher's corner, his corner is telling him that it could be 1-1. Yikes. Joe's basically saying, hey, listen, I understand you might be trying to give confidence to your fighter in the corner, but that might not necessarily be the accurate information that most of us are seeing. Back on their feet, Kelleher is looking on the hunt. Joe is now doing a good job of putting over all the defense by Cody throughout this fight. He says one thing that's very interesting to note is how he's staying so composed and ready to go. Even though he's initiating a lot of the offense, he just doesn't let himself look open at any given time. And it looks like Anik is saying he's only been finished once in his career as well. What's up? Menges and BJJ and Judo. Good to see you. Yeah. As we continue now, it is 3:25. We want to thank you guys for watching. We hope you're having a good night of watching the fights along with us here. We're going to have this broadcast take you through all of the preliminary bouts. And then we will resume back for the main one in just a little bit. Kelleher now really, I mean, even if Kelleher hurt his corner, he's acting like he knows he needs to get a finish here, which is good. I like the ability for Cody Stamann to be able to punch and still grab that leg. A lot of times it looks like it's almost done as a defensive tactic, but he's able to go ahead and continuously grab and catch the foot that's looking to kick by Kelleher. I like that they're also talking about the continued stamina and durability of the fighters on the commentary team. They're basically telling the narrative of he is never going to give up. That's one thing you know about this fighter. He will never give up, which always makes you wonder what they would say if it was the opposite. He'd be like, this fighter gives up a lot, dude. Like he looks across the street and goes, it's too far. I'm not going. So it does look like they've been instructing Kelleher to maybe go a little bit more southpaw in his kicking, according to Daniel Cormier. So Stamann, according to unofficial reports, John Anik is putting there saying that he has thrown over 200 significant strikes, 49% of those landing. And Kevin is here. Look at that. Kev, before I bring on my illustrious co-host from Verbal Tap, Kev, I guess I should open by asking you, are you wearing a vest?
I like to think the vest is wearing me. God. I've hit the point of quarantine and anger and resistance. I went for a little close to March today because I'm still weary of gathering in groups larger than 5, but I was like near it. Like I'm here. Now I'm here. There was a little bit of a storm with some hail, but the vest said, wear me. And I said, all right.
You kind of have a Han Solo-ish look that you're going for today. And, all the power to you. I don't know that you have the gusto of a Harrison Ford, but you have the tenacity of a Harrison Ford.
By the way, this Stamann story, thank you. Anything with me and Harrison Ford works. Is he about to? No, okay. I thought the guillotine was going to be a little tough, but they're ending with an embrace, and wow, this one pulls on the heartstrings also.
Here's what we discovered right now. You and I always try to figure out where we are on the fights together. I don't know where these other guys are getting their internet connections from. I think some of them are like weirdly fused from the back of an old 1980s television set. But I've discovered tonight that my television is technically about 25 seconds behind my app on my phone.
Oh, so you're going app now to stay
I have
current?
Both. Because I found that as I was doing the solo, it's really good to be able to take a moment to see something here and go, I'm aware of what's happening. And then for there, I can do a detailed breakdown 20 seconds after the fact.
Versus I just have really exceptional cable connection.
Well, you should, because
Cody Stamann, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know who won the fight, ref. I wasn't paying that close enough attention, and I can never tell at this weight class anyway. But points for making it in the cage is pretty damn impressive.
I would tell you this much. It should be, and we know the word should be, it should be Cody's fight to lose here. So it'll be interesting to see if that comes through. They were saying, at least on the commentary, that it does look like it should be 2-1, arguably. Oh, yeah, Cody's just eking out ahead on most of these.
After 3 rounds of
So here we go.
Oh, he points at the stamen.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, people are quite aware of the tragedy his family suffered. You can even see this is one where Kelleher is like, yeah, man.
That's great. Yep. To be like, why'd they make me fight you, dude? I don't like what happened to your family.
No, and you can tell, I'm sure you've commented, but I already noticed they fixed a few things, and this is ESPN's influence, but Joe's no longer having his normal side-by-side hug chat. They're doing, and I actually kind of like this version, maybe even a little bit better, but
it's fine. I just like the fact that, I don't know that we talked about this on air, but Joe's explanation to ESPN when they said, hey, bro, why did you not do according to script? And Joe was doing this where he goes, I just like when I can look a man in his eyes, you know, like you do an interview and it's just like being able to look a man in his eyes. And I was like, bro, like down like 20% if you could, because it's a little too much, you know?
I do, and that's also their MO, especially when they're all jocked up and back in Vegas. I like the facility choice, and I guess we'll give a cheers to Cody and his family. Just out of, I wait for you to crush a nacho. Sorry, I wasn't staring at you.
It was not nacho, it's pizza. It's fine.
Oh, okay. Italian nacho bread, as I call it. I don't know.
The Italians got very, very dicey where they're like, this is a nacho too big.
I'm even part Italian. Someone's upset, but it's like, you heard me. Italian nacho bread.
Oh, my God. I'm so glad that I have no dog in any of that fight, or at least I don't know of. My dad did the 23andMe or one of those things, and he came back and he goes, guess what? Brown. Thanks, Dad.
Shout out to Al. Well, I've been watching The Genetic Detective on ABC.
Oh, yeah, Kelly's watching
Shout out to that show. Yeah, because she's a genius and it's fascinating. It really took me for a ride this morning. I watched it as a sleep-in show.
Now, hold on. There's discussion on Cody, who's saying that he's been fighting tears all day.
I bet.
He says it's a hard time for him. See, I don't want this interview right now. Yeah. Is now just saying like it's a hard time for me, my family, myself, everybody, dude.
And that guy, I mean, I like that they at least didn't put them through the weight cut because that's brutal at their size. So to do the catch weight at 145 and give him a chance to at least have calories in him to make this speech.
Absolutely. He'd be like, here, eat this donut before you go on, fatty.
So tough, though. I cannot, with the camera on him. Whew.
Bless this kid. All right. I don't want this to get sad or crazy, but I want to talk a little bit about The Genetic Detective with you, which is this reason, Kev. That show is 20% hurt the computer going, and then I typed this in, and I saw, here are the results from that. And I'm like, it's the same goddamn footage each time.
They did one of the things that you did in your early late night video where there's a clip in episode 1 where she's like, I should be counting my steps with you all. I've never walked this much. And it's like, yeah, because you normally sit at your computer and call someone. And now they can't just show that. So they're making you stand up and explain. They're just doing generic shots of you walking around Seattle. It's great. I mean, I will say that's my only complaint of the show. Little long for like we were on this we were on a boat for way too long in episode 1, but the show is exquisite.
I was more so entertained by the fact that I go, how is this show going to operate? And Kelly just goes, trust me, it just plays. It works.
It really must have helped whoever was thinking about this. I assume it probably inspired it. The Golden Gate Killer is the one that obviously is the poster boy. But if you haven't, episode 1 and episode 2, at least the one big true crime difference is you get shows that either have solvency or don't have solvency. This has solvency, and that's powerful.
That's good.
It's also going to make you really nervous. I've had my dogs tested. I've never tested myself for the 23andMe thing, which maybe says a little bit more about my priorities.
Fair. Where did the dogs come from?
Well, funny enough, one of them's like, I can only say this so loud because of where I live, but he's basically like Bichon Frise and Pitbull with some English Bulldog and Lab in there, which is such a funny juxtaposition because Bichon Frise is very tiny. So interesting. And I guess I'll find out if any of my dogs are cousins or first cousins of any criminals. So that'll be helpful. Mills, our tiny one, is a beagle with a little pit. He just looks like a jacked beagle. Mostly it just looks like trim and ready to go. Disaster.
Did you find anything that was surprising though?
Our mutt that passed recently was like, we always thought he was a pretty mixed farm mutt, and then we got his results back, and I don't know how many dogs they can fit on one DNA panel, but he might have passed it. He was 25 different things. It was like English sheepdog, cattle dog, Australian shepherd. It's like, oh, this is hilarious. Lab.
Also 10% Native American Indian. Didn't know that. Good for him.
And one of them we half expected to find was like 10% cat. It wasn't.
Yeah. I'm just entertained because Kelly has every once in a while been like, we should get Lucy to do the 23andMe or one of those things. I was like, you won't even do it for yourself, much like your situation. She goes, don't need it. I already had people do it. Mom already did it, so I'm good. Once my dad did it, I was like, yeah, you know what? I've got most of this.
I can see myself doing it, but I'm only mildly want to like clear it with some relatives I like first, just to be like, hey, everybody, the 80s are over. Does anybody want to try and stop me from doing this? But I think some of my most would have thought relatives already did it. So
that's good. Yeah, that's the whole thing is I'm like, the family should just pull together resources and just be like, listen, if one of my sisters does it and she did, I was like, sister, dad, I'm good. No more. What are you going to do? Find some other results?
Mm-hmm. Ooh, commercials.
So this is also interesting in that in watching it on the app and on TV, have seen two different sets of commercials. One is, hey, do you like Proper 12? Okay, cool. Here's your commercial. And the other is, hey, how's your gas? Pretty bad? Take this pill. You might die or it might cure the gas. Who knows?
Problem number 12. It would be nice if they had Connor's voice for the gas pill too. It's like, take Buzzdex. Yeah. That's
never get too much in me tum-tums. Me tums ain't enough for me tums.
You know he would at the very least be, if we got him like drunk and honest, he'd be like, yeah, that commercial annoys the S out of me too. What's that sound I make at the
end? Would you like me to fill you in on what's been going on earlier throughout the evening?
Sure. I saw one hell of a back take on my phone, which is when my phone lost power which was poor timing on my part. I didn't realize we were about to lose power ourselves.
You're good. I just was more so being like, hey, what happened? And then immediately you're like, the power went out. And I go, uh-oh.
Well, just a little storm. I mean, it wasn't out long. I was just supposed to join around 6:15.
That's fair. To be fair, the last show that we were doing, I had an earthquake before.
Yeah, you did. This was not that serious. I have no idea what happened. I assume just
honestly, the earthquake wasn't that bad. The earthquake was only a 5.4. And I even saw it might have gotten downgraded to 5.1. And Kelly goes, oh, was it only a 5.1? Embarrassing.
This thing had hail, which is why it became pretty mandatory to get inside.
Fair enough.
Aggressive hail for about 4 to 7 minutes.
I don't understand how you can still look hail in the face and go, yeah, I'm okay with this.
I'm not. That's why I got inside. And I even this was the biggest nerves. Being from Kansas, the storms are a little more serious out there. I drove through something much more aggressive than like today's little whisper. The mountains are a nice hug, Raph. There's just a weather hug with a lot of cold. But I was most worried about my truck. That was the biggest concern. It was like, oh, once it's hailed. And sometimes the hail out here can be damaging. And then other times it's just like, well, your car's ruined. So enjoy it.
That was the
And
hardest
your
part.
roof.
Well, you can't just go to somebody when you sell it in the future and say, hey, you don't understand. 2020 was a crazy time for hail and everything else.
Little HD, little hail damage. You know the drill. Look, it doesn't have COVID. Can we call it even? It's a 2020 car.
I'll also tell you this, because we have to catch up at a couple cheers here, but I need you to be educated on them. The first of which was Alex Perez in his post-fight interview. And granted, he won via leg strikes.
That was the calf strike?
Yes.
Okay.
When he went over in his post-fight interview, and I don't know if you saw this, but he basically comes over to the side, talks to Joe, and goes, man, I'm having a great 2020. And I go, so you're the one.
Awesome. Hey, it's good they found him. That's good.
Glad someone is, bro. He's just like, yeah, 2020 is my year, man. I almost about stopped the show and said, well, fuck off.
That's pretty, it's a bold, some of the fighters, you can tell it's like, it's the first excitement they've had in, like most of us, right? In 4 months, so they don't have their speeches wildly planned.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I just interviewed the guy a couple of months ago, and I want to be able to be like, hey, let's do another interview. So part of me sitting there being like, hey, bro, read the room.
But it would be funny if we don't have anyone who was around in 1918 to be like, was there somebody who was like, it's all turning up aces for me this year?
I just like the fact that they're also, whenever they get those historians who come out, they're like, well, what is this person's experience? They're just old. Lived through it.
I will say the Amanda Nunes ads are frightening me. I would not want to. I do not want to fight this human being. I want to be crystal clear. It was not offered to me, so I'm using like a wood crystallization, but terrifying stuff. And she's got so many fights now where she's just been beating people up, and I have a lot of torn feelings because I didn't have this type of WWE constant drama in my life, but to see Ronda's downfall in her uprising, it's a real watching Ben Affleck become Batman moment for me. It's tough.
Well, hey, better news on that though. The show I worked on, Game On, #1 in its time slot, bitch. And why would I bring that up now? Well, because earlier this week they had the Demi Lovato Ronda moment, and they got to basically talk a little bit of jiu-jitsu on the show. So that meant earlier this week on Wednesday, more than 4 million plus, maybe about 5 million more now, got to see a very positive mention between Demi Lovato talking about being a blue belt. And here's the thing I really appreciate about her saying that. She goes, they show a clip of her as a white belt doing some like tosses and kind of doing a little bit of the jiu-jitsu, if you would. And then she immediately gets embarrassed. She goes, I'm a blue belt now. I'm better than that. I'm very sorry. I'll train with people whenever, but like, I'm not that person. So I was like, you know what? Good for you.
Can I make a confession?
Yeah, go for it.
I'm positive Demi Lovato would whoop my ass on the mats right now. Just based off of tenacity and hunger. It's like I'm already vulnerable to a pretty athletic blue belt, but I have some fear when I see her talk about jiu-jitsu. It's like she's a little bit more hungry than I am.
I mean, 1, she's cool for the summer. Number 2, other song that she has, Stone Cold. I think that's a song she has.
Mm-hmm.
And that's about as far as I go.
She's saying that one about the guy in the vest, if I recall. I'll have to go back to the catalog. Early work.
Don't look at me like that. Yeah, well, he's listing off of my list, so I started it. Kelly was like, Kevin's listing. I was like, I can't sell you out like that.
No, he's not. He's talking about ABC detective shows. He doesn't have time. I only have time to go so many lanes.
She was in for that part. Over on the couch, being just fine talking about that. What's up, Bill Oswald? Good to see you, sir. I hope that you were enjoying the commentary. If you're watching ESPN, you should do so now. Because you should do so, mute them. Don't listen to Daniel Cormier. We're better than Anik.
Versus Mearshart, baby.
Mm-hmm. Mearshart sounds like something that you see on a Rorschach test. They go, "What do you see here?" And you're like, Mearshart.
And you could sell me on whatever that shape would be if we turned a Mearshart into a mythical creature.
Absolutely.
Look at these two. They're going.
I think I was about to say, I got to go back to the app now. I was watching off the TV.
Because I'm
at
432. Okay. Bumping down the lane, and both fighters look. So the difference between these fights and the last ones in Jacksonville is the fighters look in shape now.
Yeah, that's really what it's coming down. And some of these guys have already fought like just a couple weeks ago. Like they're on a rotation on Dana's boys right now, just being like, "Did you fight? Get back in there. That's fine."
Actually, I'm gonna pull up the fights. To be a professional, actually, I guess a professional. Oh, he's down, and he's down. They're getting the multi-punch. He's about to ride the Bruce Willis taxi cab in The Sixth Element called Concussions, and he's out. Oh, backflip. Good night, Mearshart. So, thanks for the cool ass name. Ooh,
good flip though.
Unbelievable flip. Just as I'm like Googling names, it's like, and the most exciting possible thing happens.
Well, we've got some work to do. I've been trying to keep a list of the names.
I was trying to say Kelleher had just fought. Was the whole worthless point I was making while I went ballistic on Mearshart.
I mean, Kev, these things end very quickly. You know, some of these guys, you got to give a credit to them because they're looking at you like, listen, bro, I just want to go home now. I don't want to go to Fight Island. I want to see my goddamn family. If I have to go to Fight Island, Thoughts on the bet for $1 million to win $166K on Nunez?
Love it. Love it. You're basically buying a pretty cool Lake of the Ozarks house, like something riverfront that's pretty good on the channel. It's a lake, excuse me. That's a great investment.
Yeah. You know, we had people who were asking our opinion on, man, could you just take Spencer? Like, you don't think she's going to win, but would you just put money down on her just in the event some weird fluke happens? And I was like, I cannot in any way endorse this as a plan in any way, shape, or form. And again, we've already caveated with she could win. I also could win the UFC title too. Is it likely? No. But it's a good possibility. Kevin, have you ever thought about that though? Like, how different would the show have been if one of us had actually been a fighter?
Ouch. You know, some of us join you. I have no idea. I assume one of us would be a lot less accessible and grumpy at least once, but we're now both well past our prime to have worried about that. But if, the body had held up, that might have boosted our views. I got in and fought like Logan Paul now. I guess I still could. I just need to get more famous and narcissistic, but I'm working on them.
You give Logan Paul a good fight, if only for the mere fact that I sincerely believe that you'd win the head games of that kid, and you'd be like, you fight on my rule set, dude. Not I fight your fight, you fight my fight. And he's like, I don't even know what you're saying, bro, but your hair is weak. And then that would set you off.
That would anger me. And this hand only has one fight. That's what I'd be telling him. I'd be like, I got to get it repaired after this. I'm going to make it count. I'm going to make it count. Do I get to toast? Do I get the honorary toast?
Yes, I'm going down and just double checking my list because we have to do a series of them, and I have to figure out how we're gonna catch up.
I could just toast them all. I feel ready for a quick one-liner. I feel ready to go. Not like I don't mean toast each of them independently, unless that's what you mean.
We do have to toast each individually. However, here's what I'm going to tell you, Kev. I'm going to let you take that really, really amazing TKO finish by one. Ian Heinz, go.
I remember where I was when Kerry Strug gutted out an injury to stick it and helped the United States put it to the Ruskies. It was basically the miracle part 2 from a gymnastics perspective. Didn't get the Olympics this summer. Did get Heinz sticking the backflip after he stick the Mearshart. Cheers to the Heinz for the Carrie Strug-like feeling in my heart right now.
Cheers indeed.
That backflip, it really impressed me. I'm now out of beer, which happened relatively quickly.
I'm going to have to reload in a second. You go reload real quick. I'll keep people up.
I'm going to hit stop cam. I'll be right back.
Station ID. I'll see you back in a second. All right, folks. I'm going to minimize Kevin for just a second. We're not going to minimize his contribution, but, you know, that was a great toast. Good work, Kevin. Let's remind you guys, why are you here? You're here to watch some UFC 250 analysis and observations from your pals here at Verbal Tap. But if you like this show, follow us at Verbal Tapcast on all of our platforms. We're on YouTube. We're on Instagram. We are on the Facebook at Verbal Tapcast on all of those there. However, if you would also like to continue watching this show and supporting us here at the Grappling Hour, the spinoff of Verbal Tap, some may say a show that exists without Kevin, but Kevin is always just a heartbeat away. Like he is right now. He's just getting beer. So follow us at Grappling Hour on YouTube, Facebook, Periscope, Twitch, Instagram, at Grappling Hour on all of those major platforms. Keep up with us. Hit us up in the comment section. We are trying to integrate as much as we can as the evening is going through. Bill Oswald, no, thank you for the question, my friend. We appreciate you watching. We hope that you are enjoying the show here. Joe Rogan is talking with Ian right now. I'll go ahead and keep you guys updated on what he is saying to him. He said one of the things that he credits for his finish, which, by the way, 14-3, 6 first-round finishes. Credit to this man. But he's crediting it to a change in camps. Talks about being in prison, being locked up. Turned out to be a false positive, which I'm not sure it means what he thinks it means, but dope. Ian is also saying it's weird to be talking to you, bro, over the screen, bro. You're my favorite, bro. He's saying the big key to this fight for him was just constant movement. And he actually was baiting the level change. Says he starts off with 2 low kicks to go ahead and improve his standing. He says he's thinking about moving back to Thailand, which is a large commitment if you're asking me. Credit to all of his friends and family. And now Joe is saying what Kevin was saying. You stuck the backflip. That's really the most important part of the night for him, honestly. That's the most impressive part of that man's evening, if you're asking us. Oh, Medell and the Raiders are teaming up. That will never be a bad plan. Yikes, Kevin is back. Kevin, can anything go wrong with Modelo and the Raiders teaming together?
No, but Modelo's going to have to figure out a way to make the first 6 drinks really kind of fun and the next 8 a miserable disaster and failure and quarterback mediocrity. But if they can do that, I think it's a perfect pairing.
You know,
but without the Raiders, really, how would the Chiefs get warmed up for the Broncos?
Oh,
it's difficult because everybody gets the Chargers, who always have this like Hail Mary like instinct. But since they moved to LA, it's just sad. They're like a soccer team without the coordination. So the Raiders, I always think of it's really good to have a JV college team in the division that you can keep around for morale, really. Plus, it's Gruden.
Kev, how many championships have the Chiefs won?
2.
Okay, and when was the last time they won?
This year,
And the one before that?
2020. I don't recall something 20. No, I guess it was 1968 if I had to reach back.
So as we kind of do our science version of figuring out what started this whole mess, is there blame to put on any of the Chiefs for winning the Super Bowl, which have caused any part of COVID and the shitstorm that is 2020?
No, because point of order, it was 1970 the last time. And that was a pretty good year, I think. I wasn't here, but I heard good things about the 70s.
You read one book about it and you said, it seems like it was
I read some parts of a second book about it as well.
Oh, okay.
And I actually will tell you, I'm at the point of my Netflix search where I watched, and this tells you my fiance and social structure, like she works nights and we've just all been quarantined. I watched all 10 episodes of Ken Burns' Vietnam HD. Whew, really changed my perspective on some things.
There's really I think you're the only person where Netflix gives up on a recommendation of, would you like this next? Because going from Love is Blind to Ken Burns for 10 hours.
Too hot to handle. I'm not a Love is Blind guy. I didn't enjoy it. It was people just talking into a closet with no payoff.
You didn't enjoy Love is Blind?
I did not.
Did you watch all of it?
No.
You stopped on it?
Raph, ask me how many people talking to a mirror in a closet I can watch before I'm like,
oh, God.
Next. I like my romance in person.
So you're like the Joe Rogan. You can't do it remotely like this with these interviews.
I guess I should make a small note. During pandemics, I will say, I guess I'd watch Too Hot to Handle people on socially isolated beaches getting to know each other. That'd be kind of fun. But I need some element of fun. That was really just, it felt collegey.
It is. It's supposed to be stupid. And you know what? We've graduated, I think, to better quarantine entertainment as it's gone on. But they definitely were looking at it. And you have so many trading cards. And you literally look out and you go, well, I don't want to give up my Babe Ruth now. So give them another season of The Wall. We got one of those out there somewhere.
Plus, I've been deep on Showtime's been playing all the documentaries you need to see to learn about police brutality. I was just watching the one on LA made in 2017, the Let the Mofo Burn. Unbelievable.
Well, I want to say thanks to Bill Oswald, who says, all right, Raph, got to head out for the main event. Cheers, man. Cheers to you, sir. We appreciate you coming through. So I realized
Billy Oz, the old Oswaldo.
I would like to tell you this, Kev.
Where is he? I don't know.
Well,
he's Oswaldo.
He exists in the Illinois. So there is that. I realize what we should.
Very hard to find people in Illinois.
It honestly is. What I realized, though, was we were missing an opportunity. What's up, Chris? Is this. We had Megan earlier who shared our video. Megan routinely tunes in for our shows here, but I realized we should be cheersing those people as well. So we should be toasting them. We have some stuff to catch up on, and I want to make sure that you are up to speed and up to code on a number of these things. So I also want to try and bring a couple to your attention. So you did Ian. We should probably go back and show you how Gilbert Burns's bro had a pretty good thing. And I think you might have alluded to the fact that you might have seen part of this, but I'll pull this up for your viewing pleasure right now. This was...
You're talking about Herbert Burns?
Yes, sir.
And this was the back take, right?
This is the back take that you were talking about on your phone.
I did see this.
Of the night.
Yeah.
So this is what we essentially were dealing with earlier this evening.
The back take itself, too, was sick. The way he put his leg in between and tripped was like, it reminded me of fighting leg lockers. I don't like it.
So as a result of this, I like this shot. This back shot where they get his brother. Oh, they don't even show that. What the fuck? False advertising. Anyway, all right. Well, we should be toasting him. So
There's a dog war outside.
I appreciate the fact that your dog wants to get in on the toast as well. It's perfectly fine. Here's what I'll do. I'll go ahead and take this one because I think it's really important that we go ahead and catch up on the ones that we're missing before we get to our next fights. Because guess what? Once that fight's done, we're straight to the main card. So here we go. Raise a nice little glass. Not only are we entertained, but you've got the dogs entertained by your vicious rear naked choke. The Dunham brothers are some of the best people in the world, and it is very difficult to submit them. I know firsthand they have a great training center out in Vegas, but not to overshadow it. You started our night off completely great, and got to tell you, man, you made Daniel Cormier just giddy this evening. So for that, we say cheers to you. One, Senor Burns.
Oh, there's another proper number 12 whiskey.
Oh, God.
Big guy. It's Boz.
Boz is very intrigued. Does Boz see you in a vest often? Is he confused by this?
Very much so. He seems to be, but he listens better. He asked me to set up a checking account for him. I think it's having a positive influence.
That's good, man. I mean, you got to start thinking about the future. You're never too young.
I'm already going to start Googling how to buy this fight on Amazon because it's Kevin versus the fights again.
Yeah, I know. It's probably a good investment of time right now.
What do I just UFC 50? Let's see.
I mean, you have a miraculous ability to have always the fastest internet, but the slowest pickup to the pay-per-view.
It is impressive. It's each time it's like a surprise with my ESPN, but now I'm a member of the Disney Plus community.
Hey.
So you'd think I'd be able to buy the GD fights. I don't want to stream it. I want to get the pay-per-view main card. Booyah. Well, it's not ready yet. So
it's coming, but you're prepared this time.
Oh, wow. People can't see the emotion because my eyes are hidden, but the big dog just went through almost all of the chords that make this happen. It was real grit and nails for a second. He will take down a camera. He's not scared. He's very large and undeterred by things that get in his way.
Yo, Kev, we had somebody ask. Nicholas Correa asks, where's the free stream? Well, don't know. You go find it. You tell us where it is.
We can't be in free stream jail.
Yeah, no shit, dude.
We're against free stream prison. We've
not
seen
against
some people go.
Go wherever you want. But it says on here we are just watching the prelims. We will watch the main card. So if you need updates and results, we're happy to give you that. But there's somebody who commented earlier who always comes back in here. I would tell you this, though, Kev. Somebody brought this up a little bit earlier, and I'll pitch this to you. Because, every show likes to say, we're the best jiu-jitsu show. We're the best MMA show. Let me pitch this to you. Maybe, much in the way that Gary Tonin says that he's your mom's favorite grappler, how about we claim, as something that no other show can say, we are your bot's favorite grappling show?
I dig it. I'm trying to remember the last time we were excessively harassed by a bot via Messenger, and it's been a hot minute. It feels kind of good, actually, or I'm just not paying attention to anything.
Both not paying attention, and it's blissful ignorance, but we still get some. But now there are just so many shows, they split their time between all of us. Nicholas Correa says Sean O'Malley is winning first round. Possibly.
I always like it when I dig a prediction. Could you be a scope? If you're going to say first round, do you mind giving us a minute?
Well, not just that, Kev, but I like the idea of being able to be like walking into our room, our little video here, with the equivalent of where the hose at? By the way, this guy's getting first round knockout. Bitch. Boom.
Let me see. All right. I think I've at least somewhat found a way to find this thing.
Bless you. Good
yeah.
work.
Getting better. By the fight. that's not an advocacy. I'm saying I'm getting better per the fight. Not
right.
You don't want to buy the fight. You don't buy the fight. Era. Hey, Masvidal asking to be released from the UFC is a little bizarre, isn't it?
I'm into it, dude. So he's pulling all in. Like, he knows he's got a good hand right now.
Isn't he a current title holder? If we're just being specific,
fake title holder.
See, for example, Big Dog's going back through, stepped on the mic cord,
no.
about choked me.
Oh no!
Whew.
This is terrifying.
It is exactly how a seal feels, I assume, when the killer whales are beaching on them. It's just like, gotta get out of here. I've been watching a little too much National Geographic on Disney Plus. I should probably preface.
Are you enjoying the Disney Plus?
I really enjoy the Drain the Ocean shows. Otherwise, I'm not very fun. We rewatched Fantasia.
Okay.
That's beautiful.
I
forgot it was so long.
Parts of Dick Tracy, Darkwing Duck. I've enjoyed some of those. I've tried to make the most of it because quarantine is really weird. If I get too invested in a show, I don't do the chores around the house. So I kind of have to put on shows that I'm like, yeah, I kind of know this one by heart. And lo and behold, that's what I end up putting on when I'm like, Jesus Christ, I just need something to watch, and I need to make this all worth it. You're talking about Masvidal, going all in on this. I'll tell you why I love it. Dana White, on argumentative sake, is going progressively more fuck these guys each time to the fighters he needs to fight for him. So when John Jones is like, pay me more if you want me to go up a division. Okay, that makes sense. And Dana's like, why should I pay him more? This is terrible. It's ridiculous. It's these times. And then all of a sudden goes, especially with a guy with that past. And I'm like, oh, now he has a past. Look at that.
Oh,
how can
things have changed. See, Jones must have heard our podcast and been like, this is when I ask for a raise. I always get rewarded for my unnoteworthy behavior. Here we go. And Dana was finally like, no. I don't know exactly. I just feel like they're faking this a little bit. It feels like he's kind of trying to pick some fights with his big stars, which he enjoys doing when he really needs something. So I don't know.
I would tell you this, though. I would tell you that Masvidal coming in and like when Dana goes, he's just a fighter. He's dumb. He doesn't know what he's talking about. And Masvidal being like, we make 10 to 15% of the overall revenue of the UFC. Whereas in the NFL, you make closer to 50. So y'all can pay me more. And he's like, but it's the pandemic. We don't have that money. And it's like, okay, you don't have that money. You bought Fight Island. He's like, I didn't buy an island. It's like, okay. Meanwhile, that same day, there's an article that comes out. Dana goes, we'll have swimming pools on the island. Like, yeah, dude, really hurting for money when you're bragging on one way.
Anyway. It's difficult for me because I'm in a real love Fight Island, the concept. If he announced Sly Stallone was in on it, I'd feel a lot better. But without that, Sly Stallone got too much control. And we're off. This is two very skinny firing shots, gentlemen.
You've got fake Ben Askren versus like the part of Angela Hill's fro on a dude.
See, I kind of felt like this is what like Harry Potter would look like if he became a MMA fighter. He was like, Hogwarts sucks. It's time to test myself physically.
You're a fighter, Harry. This is what Hagrid would have told him to begin
versus Bruce Leroy. Oh, shot to the face. Down early for Hooper.
Yeah.
Hooper's a great name.
Oof.
Ow, right connection.
Oh, God.
He thinks Caceres should not have been an underdog here as I'm watching some rights and some lefts connect to the face. But, oh, shit, yeah. Okay, Bruce Leroy. I love watching this guy fight.
It's tough because, I don't know what that was, but good for him.
You saw the big swinging uppercut?
Swing and a miss, my friend. I mean.
Well, he's trying to be water. Give him a minute.
Hey, listen, I have to give Hooper credit because that punch that like knocked him down for a smidge was enough for that. I've done that get up in my life. I do that get up every morning where you go, all right, fuck, let's get back up. That's one of those weird entanglements, though, where that's just the thing that old, like skinny fucking tall people can do, where you're literally on their back and in front of them at the exact same time.
Are you going to? Oh, he gets his back a little bit. I don't know. Is he? Oh, he looks like a jiu-jitsu guy. Interesting. Because that doesn't look like how a wrestler takes someone down. Wrestlers don't do normally like a one-leg entanglement. It's like Hodolfo, Damian Maya, and I guess Hooper.
There's definitely a missing element from wrestlers versus jiu-jitsu guys on takedown, in the sense that jiu-jitsu guys also must include like a prayer.
I will admit, wrestlers seem to be a scotch more efficient in this genre of takedowns. Because what the H is that, Hooper? If this works, no, okay, it didn't. Okay, never mind. That feels good. I was like, I don't like this strategy, and he let go.
To be fair, this is what hand-to-hand combat would have looked like with Kevin McAllister in a Home Alone movie.
He just crawls on the back.
Just like, I'm going to take you down, Joe Pesci. And he's like, get off me, kid.
Drops a tarantula on his face. Oh, sweet piece to the left cheek. Ouch, Hooper. Duck, man. Block the punches. He does not seem to be worried about the right hook from Mr. Bruce Leroy. And I do think he should be.
It's just his defensive stance. I mean, a part of it is credit to Caceres because he's finding the openings here. But continuously throughout here, Caceres just looks and goes, yeah, he's not really blocking here. So boom.
Definitely winning the head movement game, Caceres right now, out moving Hooper. A paw. It doesn't look very different.
Oof. This just makes me continuously look at the experience level between the two and just being like, I mean, Caceres is just kind of used to this octagon. Fun fact about these octagons here at the Apex Center, it is actually the smaller configuration of the octagon.
What does that mean? How many fewer feet?
I think it's about 5 or 6.
Oh, Anik mentioned that as one of the cage charging was happening in that very first fight. That makes such a big difference.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, here's the thing that
doesn't make any GD sense to me at all.
John McCarthy was saying it actually incites more action.
Yeah. No. Yeah, if you put sumo wrestlers on a football field, it's going to suck. Let me just go ahead and warn you. Yeah, the closer you put two fighters, it turns out the more fighting happens. Jeez. Oh, yeah, he's definitely a jiu-jitsu guy. Look at that Grammy roll. Be very careful here, Mr. Caceres. I do not like this guy's leg lock game. Looks fishy. Oh, he's now realizing his mistake.
I mean, here's the good news. He's got enough time to probably eat this.
Yep, he's good. He's good. He's able to. I think he's okay. He's fine.
Hey, and he rolled
fascinating
with it. And you know what, Kev? I just don't do this enough. I'm gonna fucking hammer fist somebody's knee the next time they try to fucking leg lock me.
Never done that. Never dropped a little power fist on the knee joint.
Do it, because I gotta tell you, man, I'm starting to think about what I'm gonna look like when I return to the mats like that, and it's not gonna look good. I know that there's gonna be a lot of cheating, and I've told people in advance, listen, I will 1,000,000% be cheating as we all return back to the mats.
Are you starting a separate feed for the main event?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll take a little break after this fight.
Yeah, take a couple minutes off.
Awesome. Definitely not going to be eating during that time, as we
perfectly fine.
I don't have any Italian nacho bread, sadly, but
well, I gotta be honest, like Kelly does a really good job of saying, hey, do you want pizza? And I go, yeah, sure. And then right at the top of the show, she'll bring me the pizza, and I'm like, well, I'm not hungry now.
You don't have to ask me if I want pizza.
But at the same point, when I'm talking, I don't just want to be like fat kid being like,
skinny guys are fighting again. Skinny guys are fighting again. It's so difficult for me because they just both look like thin things throwing punches. I would be unconscious where I was like, wait, who hit me? Who hit me? Chris, little Chris Tucker version. It's like, which way y'all kick me?
Here's the good news. Their hair combined would make one great drag queen weave.
I'll let that be your take, but
just saying, think about it.
All right, I'm definitely. It's in the brain. Don't worry.
Just saying.
I won't be able to unthink about that for the duration of the fights tonight.
I'll tell you this.
Kelly, a category I had previously put things in, Raph. Thank you.
I'll put it to you like this. Kelly watches so much RuPaul's Drag Race that it actually has become a sport in the house.
Telling you just how much we miss sports.
Raph, well, I mean, it's just literally looking over and I go, yeah, that was pretty athletic. Yeah, that's pretty good. And I'm sitting there ranking it and being like, lip syncing skills aren't high. But, you know, I really got to appreciate the gusto in which they attack that stage. It's going to be a tough decision for RuPaul tonight.
Can you live bet RuPaul? I did not know that. I might have to check.
I think you can live bet anything.
DraftKings. Unofficially sponsoring my habits.
5 dimes, bro. 5 dimes will take a lot of things most people will not consider. And again, the crawling of the back to the knot to the Kimura not there.
It was close. It was a Kimura. It was beautiful. Would have been obviously more beautiful with the connection, but I always dig whenever anyone wants to bring I was almost going to say Keenan, but I'm going to say a William Tackett like jiu-jitsu level to the Octagon.
That's fair. Which, by the way, he's competing tonight.
Tackett at Fight to Win?
At the Third Coast.
Third Coast, that's right. Is this the Gordon fight one too? Where's Gordon fighting? He's fighting somebody too.
Gordon fought yesterday. He beat Kyle Bame with a triangle armbar Americana submission.
1/3 of each.
It was with their powers combined.
And Jake's fighting now?
Yeah, somewhere in there. I felt bad. He came.
Oh, yes, my favorite. We have a swing, kick, and a miss. Down on the ass like the ice of the Midwest in January goes Hooper.
That was disappointing for the mere fact that as he did it, you looked at him and go, man, he understands his mistakes so harshly right now.
I know exactly what I've done. I've made a terrible mistake. Drops to the back, goes high level. I do think Hooper's losing this fight.
Yeah.
Anytime you're crunched up like an egg is usually a good sign with 135 left. But again, pulled guard. I'm here for it, Raph. Love a jiu-jitsu guy. Oh, it's so tough when you're this slippery.
Mm-hmm. I'll tell you, the hardest part about this is it's not even like you go into your guard, which props. It's always the matter of them saying like,
he's doing it again. It's awesome.
It's just a matter of him saying like, I'm just good in guard, bro. I don't really know what to do with your head and where to shove it in your arm. You tell me where you want to go, bro. I'm tired.
Yep, and we'll obviously do a Formiga Alex Perez toast.
Yes.
And there's also caught up on that. You and Formiga, I think, have the same hat size.
Thank you.
He's got a big dome.
I realize that. You want to know a fun story?
You guys were both at the Big Head Hat store together and locked eyes and were like, just nodded.
Well, if you tune in on either tomorrow or Monday to the latest episode of Early Late Night, you see Kelly give me a haircut.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be helpful. Today, when my hair is not done, it looks like my mom cut it right on our way to church. It doesn't hold.
You have a normal size head. You don't get to speak.
It's just you and Formiga, his poor partner too. Did it take her an hour? How long? What tools did she use?
So we only had a beard trimmer. And every few seconds there was the
Yep.
So, it was we make it to the end of the fight, by the way. For those of you tuning in to see how this goes and are wondering,
Was that round 3? I thought that was round 2. Wow, I'm clipping it out.
It is 2. Never mind. My apologies.
Okay. I was like, oh, I thought I was still sober. This is my second beer.
A long day of watching, Kev. So what I can tell you is this. It's done in 2 parts, essentially. And this is for the sizzle. This is so people tune in. Is that a Jesus Christ? It's so funny to see fucking ridiculous replays of these sweeps that just didn't happen.
I'm sorry, I got distracted by a Popeyes Buffalo Ranch. I love Popeyes. Got the spicy chicken sandwich yesterday.
Yeah, that's the hardest part about Kel. She doesn't do spice, so I don't really do it.
We have a wide variety of menu items, including the world's greatest mashed potato gravy.
Interesting.
It's my favorite fast food restaurant, close to Sonic.
Good to know. We're back at round 3 now.
Hooper looks surprisingly still coherent. I'm in. This guy's fun to watch. I guess they definitely taught jiu-jitsu at Hogwarts. It's
the dark arts, my friend.
But Bruce Leroy's winning this fight. He keeps punching him so hard in his face, and none of the jiu-jitsu. I mean, he's at dominant positions. Oh, yeah. But it'll be interesting to see what the judges think. And it really looks so the Ultimate Fighter comfortable here. I feel so comfortable in this environment. I miss that it's not all backlit. I always like that about the Ultimate Fighter. You can see people's faces. There's 4 people there.
Yeah.
It does look like more people are here, doesn't it? And maybe that's just because they're not in a huge arena doing it empty, but it seems like there's more people around.
They have definitely had more people show up. That's something that I think we've gotten a few notes on.
It's Vegas. There's more people they trust than there were in Jacksonville. That wasn't even, it was just Florida related. Like we can only let a few people.
So I think Arges might have beaten Jake.
Gabe Arges?
Yep.
Well, that makes sense. He's very good at jiu-jitsu. That's a big fight for Jake.
It looks like Roberto had also advanced. Here's some weird.
Is it a tournament?
It is a tournament, 8-man tournament. So the 8 gentlemen in here are Mourinho, Tackett, Jimenez, Ribmar, Arges.
Oh, right in the newts.
I'll have
Hooper hits the groin, and Caceres does not look pleased. I wouldn't be either. Get the old foot to the cup.
No thanks, bro.
Doesn't feel good. But this is where I wouldn't want to piss off someone with this quick of hands, because Caceres is.
Yeah.
How many fights does he have in the UFC? This guy has been fighting a while, and he's always good.
Well, think about it. Like, it's so funny when we mentioned some of these guys were the vets. Like, when they brought back Evan Dunham today,
fast.
And again, trying for this, like, jiu-jitsu sweep. Like, these are all things that I'm like, yeah, I would probably be this guy. I would probably be trying, like, waiter sweep gonna work, bro? No.
He just kicked him so hard in the leg again when he tried to sweep in. Caceres kicked Hooper. That's what you want. Big dog's gacking at me now. I've got a whole different problem.
Oh, no.
You all right, big guy? Yep. He's fine.
So, Kev, we're talking Alex Caceres' career dates back to 2008. So he's been here since the last super big economic crisis era.
When Bush was president, I don't see a corollary.
Not at all. Over this way, he has notable wins over Sergio Perez, Cole Miller, Martin Bravo, and Steve Peterson in his last fight, which was July 20th, 2019. So it's been a while since we've seen him in here.
Oh, he is landing some combos. It just looks sharp. He's just faster. He is a lot faster than Hooper.
Yeah, and
there's no answer for that. Like, you don't get better at that during the fight because Caceres is not going to get tired. We just talked about it. He's been doing this for 12 years.
I mean, it's kind of hard because with Hooper, I still think his funniest moment is going up to Masvidal after Askren got kneed in the face and says, "Why'd you beat up my dad?" Like, I think this kid will have a career outside of fighting at the very least, but he's still a fucking impressive kid. Caceres just has really good experience and, like you mentioned, just faster consistently in every barometer possible.
We're getting some interesting submission attempts, but Hooper's still getting punched in the face. I also believe Hooper was in the movie Wet Hot American Summer as one of the camp kids, the original,
Fair.
but I'll have to check that.
You know what? Don't check it.
Why would I? It's 2020.
Why would we do that?
Fact. I said it. There you go.
We are, maybe we should make a commitment on this show. Oh, no.
Okay. Well, I got Bruce Leroy with that one. Big.
Yeah. Well, think about it like this. So Hooper's, while you see Caceres has wins, losses all over the place, you basically have an unbeaten Chase Hooper. So just to tell you the level of differentium and experience level, you've got with, I think, Caceres, he's got wins and losses all over the place. Today, you had Chase Hooper, the teenage dream, coming in at 9 wins and 0 losses. So it is unfortunate. He has like 1 draw, but I guess, we're not gonna put him on blast for that. But Jesus, Kev, good work by Caceres.
We'll see is the end of that sentence.
Yeah.
we await the decision with bated breath.
Hey, by the way, if you're watching right now, we're going to end the stream for the prelims. We'll be doing another stream. So look for @Grappling Hour on all the platforms, wherever you're watching right now, be it Twitter, Periscope, be it YouTube, be it Facebook, or via Twitch. Just @Grappling Hour. We will have another stream coming up for you guys to enjoy. We'll be watching the entire actual main card. Myself, Kevin Phillips, both of us from Verbal Tap, walking you through the action.
Anyone else joining us? Or is
I don't know.
Just, you and I riding tonight?
Well, to be honest, Jake is competing tonight.
Jordan is becoming influentially important to the movement in Des Moines.
Absolutely. Good for him, man. And more importantly, obviously we enjoy having him, but I would have liked to have just gotten the answer of, why did the FBI visit you in full story?
And Bruce Leroy wins the fight. The decision, unanimous, wins in, I think, some pretty dominant fashion. That's a tough chin on the kid of Hooper, and great Gamby rolling, but pretty serious beatdown.
Can we talk about social media insignia there? Because his little @ signal is @I am here right now.
He just flip off the back steps.
Oh, we don't need to do that right now.
That's impressive. Oh my gosh. Oh, the slow-mo shots of punching Hooper feel so gratifying.
I guess that's why you don't keep your hair long, so that when people do highlight reels against you, it doesn't look as dramatic as it does here. Well,
everybody's just giving Hooper credit for being able to take a punch. It's like that's how viciously we all saw him get beat up.
I mean, I saw what I saw. I think that's good enough to explain what it is. All right, Kev, let us start to round up. Let us tell the folks to come back and see us in a couple minutes. Do you have anything you would like to say before we cut on out on this version of the telecast?
I do not. I am vested up for the main event. I'm going to be off screen trying to make this happen. And let's come back a few minutes before the next fight starts.
Excellent. You sound like you have a vested interest in tonight's fights.
I am wildly invested in tonight's fights.
All right. Hey, all you guys, Thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to see you in just a second. Don't go anywhere. Come back with your friends here at the Grappling Hour. You've got Kev, Raph from the Verbal Tap podcast walking you through tonight's fights. We'll see you back in just a few minutes. Peace.